Albert Fantasy, when he wrote this part, was just asking for people to make fun of seamen.
Albert Fantasy?
Albert?
Al for short.
Fantasy, yeah.
That's actually Nabuo. The origin of the Al Fantasy thing was I was looking for images of Nabuo Umatsu on Google and just trying to use it for like shitpost.nsf or something. And when I was looking through thumbnails, there was one that had his face like smiling.
Yeah.
And then the Final Fantasy logo over top, like next to it, but it was kind of cut off.
So
and it just said Al Fantasy. And I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
That's incredible.
That's funny. I was like, that's funny to me and only me. So I made a shit post about it.
Yeah.
And then
so
like
good.
everyone started calling him Al Fantasy. I was like, yes,
I love it.
Done it.
I love it. This episode is dedicated to both Math the Band and Davy Crockett, and this is the Every F and FF podcast. I am host number 1, Curtis.
I am seaman number 2, Carl Germ.
I'm Alex number 1, I guess.
Ones
Alex.
and
You are
twos.
number 1.
Yeah, you are you're my
Ichiban.
number 1. Oh, Alex Ichiban. So good.
Alex Ichiban.
Ichiban.
That's right.
There it is.
I'm sorry. I don't know that. I don't speak that.
It means left-handed.
Yes.
Oh,
That's what it is.
Is Alex left-handed?
no.
No, I have no idea.
No. I was like, I thought your base was right-handed.
I just wanted to tell dirty lies. Live, not live. You're listening to this in the future.
Live? What's a live song? Is that band called Live or Live? We're starting.
I always thought it was
We're
Live.
starting early on this one with the obscure fucking stupid.
I alone love you. I alone tempt you. That's a good song.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah. So today we're gonna be going into Junon.
Going off the rails.
Do you say Junon? Is that how we say it?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
Junon.
how I say it too.
Juon
Good.
and
I'm glad that there's
Junon.
Junon.
God damn it.
I like that there's one town finally that we all pronounce the same way.
Yeah.
So it's been it's been too long. We haven't had anything that we pronounce the same in a long time.
Yeah, feels good.
Feels good, man.
We won't be at each other's throats by the end of this like we usually are.
It's Junoth.
I'm going to say Junyon.
Junion.
Funyuns.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Funyuns.
So in
The gamer snack. Do we got any gamers listening tonight? Pick up some Funyuns.
Oh, yeah.
So in true every FNFF form, we'll start with things that we wish we said in the last episode. So here's mine. There's an enemy running around on the world map, and its name is Nerosuferoth. And I love how many letters are in.
Oh.
Like, nothing about it. I don't really care
that's
about the enemy. I just love the fact that its name is just this incredible,
like
smashing.
Egyptian dark god. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. It sounds very like Lovecraftian. It's like almost.
Is it the weird like like the sort of like a dog kind of monster?
It's like a dog praying
With, like, a
mantis
human
or something.
face.
I don't know how to.
Is it the one that has a face that looks
It looks like a Salacious Crumb.
Let me see.
It's the green Salacious Crumb.
No, I don't think that's the one I was thinking.
Okay.
Of. The one that I was thinking of that I don't remember the name of, but it looks like it has Nabaru's face or Naburu or however you say it from Ocarina of Time.
I don't know who that
It's not a
is.
very good story because I don't even know Google nothing. I don't know. On the next episode, I'll
We'll
go
tweet at
more
them
into
and ask.
depth. Yeah. We'll tweet at Al.
Have
Fantasy.
Alex edit in like
Alex
a post
Fantasy.
to the thing where Alex Fantasy.
Al for short. Oh,
I'll
man.
tweet at Alien Art Form again. And see
Wait, did you tweet at Alien Inform?
No.
Damn, we
I
need
was going
to
to ask him, what's that one song?
What's that one song
Oh
that goes
yeah,
ow?
Yeah. It
What's
was
that?
Attitude. It was Attitude, and I'm very disappointed that I
Okay.
forgot that because that song whips.
Song's so good. All right, what do you got?
Yeah, nothing too major. I just remember we were kind of talking about where to find that one barrier spell. It's actually in like I think the area that we're going to be going to today towards like Gold Saucer Coral area.
Oh,
on the
that's right.
beach.
Yeah.
But another thing that I forgot, like the only reason I bring it up is because another detail that I forgot about it is the only way to actually get it is to have the enemy cast it on you. And it's a defensive
right.
thing, so you actually need to use manipulate
That's
to
right.
force it to cast it on you.
That's right.
Which I don't even think we have manipulated.
I don't think we can get it yet. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's...
Very good, very good. Well, on we go. So like we said last time, Junon's
now
a city.
that the business is out of the way, we can get down to the fun.
Yeah, that's right.
To the meat.
yeah, we can get down to the meat of this pod sandwich. So we go to Junon, and like we said last time, it's kind of carved into the side of a cliff, and going out into the water, right? So we walk in, and before I describe it, I figure we'll just go in through the intro dialogue, because it kind of does a good job at kind of describing what the characters feel about it.
Yep.
Where Cloud immediately just walks in and he's like, "Yo, what happened to this town? It's run down. It's so run down." And some of the people that you talk to say like, "Oh, there's no fish in the water. The water is so polluted." Like, we're in a real Midgar situation here again.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the reach of Shinra, kind of anywhere Shinra is, like, bad shit goes on.
Yeah.
And and kind of like to further that point, the old woman that you see at the very front of the town, she says like it's rare that she's seeing you, and she says that we almost never have anyone other than the Shinra people visit this town.
Yeah, right, yeah. So there's another... Well, it kind of makes me feel like they're, like... It's almost like a second Midgar coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, like, every town that Shinra is around, like,
well,
is trying to make it towards that.
There are bad ones, but I feel like this is the most, like, close analog, because there are, again, like... It's not like a pizza like the other one.
Yeah.
But there are like two levels
you're absolutely
to it.
There's the upper world, and then where
yeah.
it's not quite the slums yet. It's more like, it's less like a city. It's more like kind of a little rural fishing town.
Right.
But,
and then there's just this corporate fucking town made on top of it.
Leaving the people behind.
Yeah. So classic Shinra. Those goofballs always doing this. So silly.
But they're doing what they love, so you gotta respect it.
That's right. Hey, don't touch Shinra Inc.'s elevator, though.
Oh yeah,
Don't try.
That guy, Shinra Inc.'s.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people who go in full detail.
I absolutely wanted to say that in every instance in this fucking town, anytime somebody mentions Shinra, they always include Incorporated. Even the president later, does not refer to his company as Shinra.
It's very weird. It's almost like it was like a programming error or something, where they they copied and pasted Shinra Inc. Somewhere wrong, and it's just like, because it's always kind of clunky in the sentences. I'm sure we might come across like an actual screenshot eventually where we see it, but
yeah, there's like this like little elevator in the back of the town that it could take you up to the higher section, but it is blocked off by Shinra guard. He's not letting you through.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, just lock it.
yeah, I know. You could just like lock the button so they don't have to have a guard there all the time.
Because Shinra brings jobs to the community, and
that's right.
That man is working his job.
So Alex, what the fuck?
All right.
No, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rufus.
One thing that I really liked about Junon is the giant fish skeleton.
I did not even see it. Hold
Yeah.
on.
Oh yeah, the big old like. Shark
Right in front of the house.
It almost looks like they caught a fish and then hung it up to like get a picture with it, and then just left it. Like,
yeah.
It's very weird. Or it might just be like decoration to be like a fishing. I don't know. It's right by the.
I know what you're talking
beach,
about.
But,
that's what I thought it was too. Yeah, at first I didn't know what you're talking about, but I have it right here. Yeah, I kind of imagine it as like they caught like a shark or something, and then like hung it up the way they do in like Jaws, take a picture of it, and they just left it there, and now it's just a hanging skeleton in front of this dude's house.
Yeah, it's great. And the guy near there kind of just talks more about how much shit sucks with Shinra around, because he says that ever since the Shinra built the city above during the war, there's been no fish, and because everything's gotten so polluted.
Yeah. So right now there's not really a lot we can do.
Oh, he also says that through like coughs and like Uggs and fuse and stuff. So I think it's supposed to be coughs. So it's basically just like, their whole livelihood is gone. Presumably they were probably a fishing village, and now they have nothing.
Well, let's take a walk over to the little beach area and see if they're telling the truth. That's what I would say. Yeah. We're going to be investigative reporting on this.
Why can't you just believe them?
Because we can't get up to the top if we...
All right.
So
Al Fantasy strikes again.
So we can walk down to the... is it a beach? Would you go? Yeah, it's a beach.
I wrote it down as a beach.
A rocky shore.
A wharf? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's the next screen to the south, and there's a little girl there who's talking to a dolphin, right? Like, she's like, "Oh, hey, Mr. Dolphin," like, and calling this dolphin to hang out with it. And she tells the dolphin, she goes, "My name is Priscilla. Now you say it."
Yeah, she's like,
and I love it because it's like what I do to like my friends' dogs whenever I go over to their house. I'm like, "Say I love you. I love you. Say it. You can do it." And so like she's like telling this dolphin, like, "Say my name."
Say my name. Say my name.
when no one is around you.
Yeah, but she says her name like Priscilla. Like she's really trying to teach
Yeah,
herself.
I
Like I
love
know
it.
dolphins are supposed to be smart, but I found that very funny and very
Yeah.
cute.
I don't know why I have this picture in the middle. This doesn't make any sense. Sorry. I'm looking at my order of pictures.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, that one's out of order.
I was getting real excited because I thought it was going to be a real Ecco the Dolphin situation, but I was extremely disappointed by
Yeah,
the other
it's-
game that followed.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So she turns around and asks, who are you guys? Are you members of Shinra Inc.?
Of Shinra Inc.
Yeah. So once again, yeah. And so who did you have in your party this moment?
I had Aerith and Yuffie.
Okay, I had Yuffie and Barrett.
Oh, nice, cool.
Yeah. So Barrett immediately just goes, "No, you got it all wrong.
Nah,
We're
fuck
fighting
those
against
guys."
the Shinra." Yeah, he gets real offended by it. What is
So Aerith says,
Yeah.
"No, you're wrong. We have nothing to do with the Shinra."
Okay, yeah. And then Yuffie just kind of stays quiet.
Yeah.
That's fine, yeah. And Priscilla says, "Oh, I don't believe you. Get out of here." And then I do like that. Oh yeah, Yuffie says like, "Whoa, God," or whatever.
Oh yeah, she does say God.
Yeah,
Wait,
GAWD, very like.
What does she say?
Whoa,
God. Like
God.
by God, King.
Oh,
like
interesting.
GAWD.
In the script I'm looking at, she says, "Hey, watch your mouth. We hate Shinra."
oh okay.
So
I think this might be a little after that.
Oh, this is a slightly different translation than the original PS1 because
True.
we're playing on Switch. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that guy is sick, not our sick.
Exactly.
Man,
They took out the God.
it ruined it's ruined.
Ruined.
My gamer entitlement is all flaring up.
Well, there's no God in here.
Yeah, but
There's no God in
there's
this room.
no God. Destroying God. Yeah, Priscilla says she doesn't believe you and to get out of here, and she starts running like towards like the sea a little bit.
Yeah,
and
she's
Cloud,
gonna run into the sea to get away.
and
from
Cloud
you.
Cloud just goes great. ...
But yeah, and then just like clockwork, and fucking a monster shows up.
Yeah,
This
I
big,
think the
like,
boss
flying-
music starts playing
Yeah.
like while this is all happening.
Yeah, this big flying like serpent starts like zooming in toward the shore or whatever, right? And she's like running out toward the dolphin. She goes, "Oh, be careful, Mr. Dolphin."
Yep.
Tries to run out there and save the dolphin, and just immediately like falls over and is submerged underwater, right? And Cloud just goes, "Oh, hey, hold on, we're coming," and then we get into a fight.
Yep.
With Bottomswell,
Bottomswell.
Mr. Monsieur Bottomswell.
Mr. Bottomswell.
This really threw me off guard because like, oh, we're in a town, like nothing bad can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't even need to rest yet.
And then Theodore Bottomswell.
That's really fucking funny. Yeah, so
I'm reading the Japanese word, just bottomusueru.
Bottomswell.
you heard it here
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. In
Yeah, I
Japanese.
think
yeah.
It's really funny.
there's not too much about this fight. I feel like it's a long range battle,
It's a long range battle. Yeah,
which
so
is
it's like
good
this
because
flying serpent.
we just got the
Yes,
long range material.
which is exactly why I brought Barrett and Yuffie to the fight, because I was like, put long range on Cloud, and now all three of us can do normal attacks, which just don't do as much damage as magic, so it doesn't even matter anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just ended up throwing magic, and I was like, this was useless. I don't
Yeah.
know why I did this.
The strategy was there though, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
I screwed up. I only
Did,
had, I
did
think-
everybody get bubbled?
Well, yeah, I think I.
Oh, I got bubbled.
I had Yuffie. I think I had Tifa and Cloud, and then Yuffie immediately got bubbled. So I just had to resort
Yep.
to just bolting it over and over again with the Cloud using bolt.
So, when you said bolting it, I was wondering what you were talking about, because if you use magic on the bubble itself, it'll actually go away.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which it doesn't tell you.
It doesn't tell you at all, and
just like that freaking triangle or pyramid thing from Rufus
Yeah,
or whatever.
Rufus's
Yeah.
damn thing.
Where Rufus says, try and break it, which to me is like an
Okay.
indicator that like it can't
Yeah.
be done.
right.
Yeah, and
And
no.
this it just happens, and you're like, oh. And what happens when you're in the bubble? You can't like attack or
you
anything.
can attack.
Oh, and I think it's
your
draining
it
your
drains
life.
your HP.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
So I got hit with bubble on Cloud.
Also, to be clear, the movie's called Water Polo.
Oh, is it?
Is what the bubble is called. If you target the bubble, it's called Water Polo.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you could target the bubble, and I just like did what I do in any situation in an RPG where like a certain status ailment affects a party member, and I
Yeah.
just instantly attack them with someone in my party. So I had Aerith just attack him, and it did like no damage, but she attacked Cloud, and then I saw that also his HP was draining. I was like, oh god, no.
Yeah.
And then I went to just use magic and use bolt, and it was like all opponents, and I saw like the hand pointing at the enemies, and it was pointing at the bubble. And I was
Oh,
like,
did
oh
it?
shit, yeah. So I just used that like all
As your-
lightning, and it took care of the bubble.
Okay, that makes sense. So this guy, yeah, he doesn't do like that much damage or anything. I mean, I feel like when I was younger, he like presented a challenge for some reason, and I don't remember why. It could just because I was young and I was an idiot.
Yeah, it
Now
also
I'm an adult and an idiot.
Now I'm an adult and strong and good at RPGs. No, I think it might be like the bubble thing. Like almost got me.
Yeah.
But also the big wave attack that it uses.
Yeah.
Where it deals like a pretty significant amount.
That's true.
Of
You're
damage
right.
to everyone,
That
and
does.
also, I think it uses it after it dies.
It does. It
'Cause
does use it as the last move.
I was
Yeah.
actually watching its HP because I used scan on it,
Right.
or sense,
Yeah.
and I saw
I
its
love
HP.
having sense on. I keep it on all the
I
time.
I don't really ever need it, but I like having.
Yeah.
I like getting to see the HP.
Me too.
But so I saw him at like 27 hit points left, and then I attacked him with Cloud, and it went down to 0. And then he used Big Wave.
Big wave.
Which sucks because if one of your party members like happens to faint after you already won the fight, like you can't revive them, and then they just don't get the experience and the AP, which is always a bummer.
Yep.
Wow.
Although like AP and experience becomes so fucking plentiful as the game goes on, it gets wild with it.
True.
The end. But you're right though. Like right now, especially like while we still need those skills and everything like that, like it sucks to have somebody dead at the end of one for sure. So yeah, we deal with Monsieur Bottom Swell, and it's been destroyed, and we cut back to the beach, and it doesn't show us like getting Priscilla out of the water. It kind of cuts to like a minute past that.
Yeah,
right?
she's like on the shore,
Right.
not in the water anymore, and everyone's kind of standing around her.
Right, and Cloud's just like, "Oh, you don't think she's dead, do you?"
Yeah. And then someone just yells Priscilla, and an old man runs down and says, "Nope, she's not breathing."
Yeah.
So she's dead, which is really sad that they show a child dying in this game. Moving on.
Yeah. And so we go up to Junon. No, so he immediately like looks at Cloud and he's like, "Young man, do CPR."
Yeah.
And then Cloud goes mouth to mouth, but she's just a girl.
Very weird.
Yeah, very
Very
odd.
weird reaction to a little girl being almost dead and you being one of the only people who can save her. To be
Right.
like, no.
I like that the Yuffie's just like, "Do it, Cloud."
Yeah.
and
Aerith says, "Cloud, hurry."
And then what I like is that he goes, the old man says, "What? You don't know how? Come over here, I'll show you." And then he just tells him how.
Yeah.
He says, "Come over here, like walk several
Press
steps away."
Y.
Yeah. Well, he's like, walk several steps away from your party members so they don't hear what I'm getting ready to do, or like literally show you what it is on your face.
Let
And
me
he-
waste time as this girl is slowly dying.
And so you walk over to talk to him, and he goes, "You take a breath, you hold it in, and then you breathe it into her. All right, you're ready, go."
It's that easy. Go.
Like this was not necessary.
Yeah.
Dude, you're the expert. Why don't you do it?
Yeah,
exactly.
I know.
Like,
I
what
know.
the fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah. He's old and short of breath.
That's true. That's actually a good point.
So yeah, we get a little.
Apologies to the old man that we are dumping on.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, maybe as a restraining order. I don't know.
So we get like a lung,
A
like,
little lung meter.
a little lung meter pops up, and it's just like a neon pair of lungs.
Yeah, it's like blue at the bottom, and then it goes up like it
Like neon pink at
turns
the
into
top.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Very weird. And
yeah.
there's a little marker in between each. And
Right.
You press Y once. Let me
It's
read
like-
the exact things because I kind of fucked this up.
This is basically a golfing mini game, but
Yeah.
Yeah, where
you're
you
queuing up
you
your
queue the
power.
Yeah, if you get to the very top, it goes, "Nice shot."
Yeah.
And Motowai Sakuraba is doing the soundtrack at this point.
Oh, yeah,
That's a Mario golf joke for the listener.
This minigame is very parentheses exciting. There's a mecha robot golf joke for the listener.
God damn.
Or Takeshi's birdie try if it suits you.
Yes, birdie try.
Sorry, anyway.
I had a really hard time with this because I did not know what the switch button was.
Oh my god, yeah, so that's another thing that I don't know if we've gone into, but which is even more confusing because you said the switch button, which is like a function in the game itself. You have like the switch button, which I forget, it's like triangle.
Oh, does yours actually? The Switch version actually shows the button.
button.
The version
yes.
on the Switch actually shows you the buttons that you use, but in the old like original game, they didn't say like, oh, use triangle, use X. They
Right.
said like use like confirm or like cancel
Right.
or
Okay,
this.
cancel menu.
Yeah,
and
okay,
switch
cancel
menu.
Yeah, menu. Yeah, and I think that's just a weird like timing thing of when the PlayStation first came out, because when the PlayStation controller came out, the buttons on it were like very specific. Like the triangle was supposed to always be the menu button, I think, and then circle is like the Japanese symbol for like correct, like the circle.
Yeah.
X is cancel all of
right.
that.
About halfway through, they switched X to confirm. I think maybe just because it was where the A
Yeah.
was in Nintendo, so a lot of people are used to having that be there. So.
Yep, exactly. And it's it gets weird too because then in Final Fantasy VIII they have those reversed.
Oh, dude, I hate the Final Fantasy VIII buttons.
Yeah,
the
it
normal
sucks.
ones. The menu is on square.
Yeah,
Get out of here with that.
it's weird.
Get out of here with that.
It's weird. But anyway, so this mini game doesn't really. It just has.
I don't think you can lose it.
No, you can't lose it. It just can take you a lot longer.
Yeah, I was getting real panicky because I actually look up. I'm playing Steam. Like, what's the switch button on the keyboard? Because I don't.
Where's
know
the any key?
So the way it's working is that like there's a hidden value, like a hidden numerical value
It's like
as
40
you
or something.
Yeah, as you build up your lungs, and like the max is like 11 if
Yeah.
you can hit it for the lungs, and you have to get to like 40 or something right there.
Yeah.
And once you do that many digits of like breath, you win.
And as the gauge is raising to the top, you like would want to get it to the tip top if you want to get the like top value.
Yeah.
But if you wait too long, it will like revert back down to the.
It'll
thing.
go all the way at the bottom.
So
again,
I think
yeah.
this is it's funny hearing them talk about it in the speed run just because.
Right, and
like,
they say that like if you do it like in the interim when it's supposed to be like the last second, you can get one more in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and so you
It's-
can actually do it in 3 cycles. I think
Yeah.
it took me 5 cycles. I was like, damn,
I
I'm
think it
really
took-
fucking up.
It took me like 5 or 6 because I was like instinctively I was like, oh okay, I need to be breathing in, so I was holding Y.
Yeah.
And then like I let go of it and it was still going. And then,
Oh,
so there was a
okay.
couple times where I was just like breathed like for a like less than a second and then like
Right.
breathed back in, and it's
Yeah.
not my best gamer moment.
It's a big breath though.
It is a big
Yeah,
breath.
It's like a
yeah.
full 3
and I like that like
seconds.
Cloud like puts his arms to his side and like leans backward as he breathes and he's like, yeah, yeah. It's the most wild thing.
It,
Oh
it,
my
it
gosh.
takes a really long time too. I feel like
It does.
When I was doing it, I was like, "Fuck this," and I just kicked on like the 3 times speed until I got to like
Yeah, me too.
the danger zone,
Me too.
as it were.
That's exactly what I did. Yeah. So we saved Priscilla's life.
Save her life.
And we
No.
go back to
I think the old man just picks her up and runs off.
yeah, and so
No.
we go back to the. Sorry, go ahead.
Could have just used a Phoenix down.
Oh damn!
We'd have to wait till she's
Yeah,
dead
that stuff
first.
works for everything.
So we go back to the old lady's house that you were talking about earlier, like the one who's says she doesn't see people very often. You know?
Yeah.
And she says she thanks us for what we did. She says she heard everything that happened, and we've done so much for Priscilla. You can stay at my house.
Yeah.
All right.
If you try to go up to Priscilla's house, which is one of my favorite locations in this area because
Yeah.
it fucking rules, but if you try to go up there, the old man's just standing outside and he says like, "Oh, she needs her rest."
Right. So one thing just wanted to point out real quick about this house, because like I'm always trying to look for like silly little things in the background that we can talk about and make too much of a point of.
Yeah.
Because it's funny.
Oh, I have some of those.
There's
in the notes later.
There is a cross of the Lord Jesus Christ hanging on the wall in this house, and I was
Fuck.
like, Jesus exists in Final Fantasy.
Of course he does. His name's Sephiroth. That's crazy. You know what? I think I saw that, but like I grew up like very Catholic.
Yeah.
So I think I saw it, and just my brain is so wired
Didn't-
that
yeah.
like crucifixes or crosses exist in spaces that I didn't even think that was
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so fucking weird.
So well, and it's like it's innocuous. It's just sitting there.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's actually like it's not on the wall. It's like on a shelf,
Yeah.
just sitting there. And I was like, oh, look at that.
That's
Huh.
insane.
How about that? And I'm sure like there are certainly other cultures that use that shape to mean something too. So it doesn't
True.
actually have to be that.
Or it could
But
just
that's
be
the funniest headcanon that I have is that
Be a big fan of
There-
hopscotch.
or it could just
yeah, it's just the shape of the hopscotch like thing. Yeah,
Jesus was crucified on a hopscotch
Yeah.
chalk
Right.
drawing. And that other guy was on one that was upside down.
yeah,
Or it honestly could be kind of like the Neon Genesis Evangelion thing where they
Yeah.
were just like, they just used it because like in Japan that's not as popular as a religion. So that like they
Right.
use imagery of like that and they're just like, it's exotic.
exactly.
Like
yeah.
us using an Ankh symbol or something.
Yeah, yeah. an Ankh.
An Ankh, the coolest of symbols.
Yeah, yeah.
All their goths are like ironically Christian.
Yeah, yeah. So I had Bear and Yuffie, and Bear's just like, oh, I'm gonna relax for a while, and we immediately just go to sleep. pretty
Yeah.
much, and go to
Did
rest.
you go to Priscilla's house?
I didn't try it. Oh, not yet, because
I went like when we first got into town. I just kind of explored everything.
oh,
I don't
yeah,
think there's really
I did
much.
there. No, there was nothing in there.
There's
I don't
nothing
think.
really like worth. But Priscilla's house is just awesome. It looks very cozy. It's like
Yeah,
she like.
I climbed into her bed. It was cute.
Wait,
Was
can
that-
you
yeah.
climb that
Yeah,
ladder?
yeah,
you
there
can climb the ladder. Yeah,
Shit,
which
I don't think I did.
God, a thing I want to talk about eventually.
It's a little creepy.
I'll say it.
I was hoping there was
at
something
the
in
end
there.
of
There's
the
a window.
episode.
Yeah.
There's a hilarious thing you can do in Priscilla's house later, but we have to get through this episode first.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there's not really too much in her house though. It just looks super cozy, and like she has like a little like furnace thing.
I like the
in
little
there.
like folded wall. That's
Yeah,
in there.
yeah,
little
the
partition,
screen.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. I want to live there. That's a cool house.
It is. It's a very nice little house. Yeah.
She's doing pretty well for herself for a little girl. Millennials these days can't afford houses, but Priscilla can.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There's overpowered electric fence right outside.
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
That thing is very intimidating.
A thing that we could actually like describe about this place too. It is kind of like like a tiny little village, the kind of area that we're in. But you do see these big electric struts coming down, like these like energized power lines and things, just like stuck right in the middle of the fucking town. They're like, it's fine. We don't need to put safety barriers around them. Fuck these people.
Yeah, fuck these people. They've already established that pretty well.
Yeah.
There's this giant metal like pillar in the middle of town right outside Priscilla's house, which has like a spiked collar, I guess, to keep people from climbing up, but also a red arrow that just is super distracting. Like you're supposed to go up there, but you don't. It's just a big red arrow pointing up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Mixed
weird details.
signals.
Yeah.
It looks really metal.
So I went ahead and went to the inn, not the inn, but the
Yeah,
old
to
lady's
the-
house and went to sleep.
You get to rest.
And we get a little
3 separate
a little
beds.
back and forth between Cloud and his mind voice that he talks to sometimes.
I feel like we haven't had one of these moments in a
It's
little
been
while.
a little
I mean,
bit.
the whole one episode was just a flashback, so I guess that kind of, I don't know.
That's fair. So it starts out with the voice, right, talking, and it just says,
It's got that song playing.
yeah. It just says ... That reminds me. And, Cloud's, like, this is Cloud, and, like, I think he's dreaming, or he's, like, hearing the voice while he's pretending to sleep.
He's having some kind of conversation.
Yeah. In his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Cloud's voice says, "Oh, you again." And
it asks, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Which is the titular line of the song that's playing, because the song's called "Who
is
Are
it
You?"
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. And the voice says, "You'll find out soon. But more importantly, 5 years ago." And then, Cloud interrupts and says, "Oh, 5 years ago, Nibelheim. That's what happened there." And the voice says, "When you went to Mount Nibel, Tifa was your guide, right?" And Cloud says, "Oh, yeah, it surprised me." And the voice says, "Well, where was Tifa other than that?" And Cloud doesn't know.
Yeah, he says,
He's
"I don't know."
I don't know. And the voice goes, "Oh, this is a great chance for you two to see each other again. Why couldn't you see each other alone?"
Mm-hmm.
And Cloud's like, "Well, I don't know. I can't remember that clearly." And it suggests, "Well, why don't you ask Tifa?"
Yeah.
And it says, "Yeah, then get up." Right?
Mm-hmm.
It goes, "Then get up."
And then an actual dialogue box pops up.
Immediately.
And it says,
just immediately.
"Hey, wake up, Cloud."
Right, and Tifa's
And it's Tifa.
at the foot of the bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like very kind of odd, right? This voice is like, "Oh, why don't you ask Tifa where she was at?" And then immediately she's right there as soon as you wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So, and Cloud does. He says, like, he says, when Sephiroth and I went to Nibelheim, where were you? And she says, "We saw each other, right?" And he says, "The other time." And then she says, "No, it was 5 years ago. I don't remember. But something seems strange outside. Cloud, come quick." Also,
Right, so she kind of like deflects the question, is like, "Yo, there's something else going on. We don't want to talk about this."
Also, after that little, like, I think after the first dialogue box comes up and it fades back into being in that room with Tifa, there's a new song playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's Rufus's Welcome Ceremony.
Oh,
which is a great
it
track.
started
It's very
here.
like pompum circumstance.
This song is so good. Hey, actually, before we get into this section, I did want to ask, when Cloud says no that other time, what do you think? What are they talking about?
I have no idea. I like the other voice in his head like alluded to some other time, but
Like some lost time between her getting rescued, maybe,
Or
her getting slashed down by Sephiroth,
Maybe
and the next day or something.
at some point at which they were there.
like Cloud was
guess-
there for a while.
Yeah, and he saw her
or
several times.
she wasn't there. She wasn't home until they actually went out to the reactor.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. He
So
went to,
he was missing pretty much from Nibelheim
That's right.
until that point.
yeah,
you're right, you're
when
right.
he went back to her house and he was like, "Oh, I thought you were home."
That's right.
Like,
Yeah,
where
she
was
doesn't
she
say
then?
where she was. You're right. Okay.
So
So
that might be the-
no, that's a good call. I think
I think
you're right.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I was just like, I figured that it was something like a story beat that we get later, which we probably do, but
We do, but I was
just
just kind of curious what specifically he was trying to talk
I don't
about here,
remember
but
the
I think-
specifics of it. Also, I was like,
I think Alex is right there. Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, so we have this awesome theme playing.
Funny, quick side story about this awesome song.
It's in 9 and
Oh, is it
a
really?
bunch of other ones. Yeah.
Oh, sweet, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But
Just like the weird lyrics they have for it.
so my buddy Theo, who wrote the review for us, I went to his graduation. We went to high school together, and he's 2 years older than me.
Dude, if you were getting ready to say that they played this at his graduation.
I went to his graduation and was sitting there, and we went to like a small school, so it was kind of crazy that like this happened. But when they were all walking in, this song was playing. So like someone in the fucking jazz band or whatever at the time was just like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna fucking do this. Like
that's so good.
Yeah, like I said, we went to a small school, so I feel like it wasn't like it was like an important thing. Like I guess like
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah, like
they had a little more freedom to be a little bit
exactly,
more,
or they
creative.
just like played it and they're like, we're gonna do this song, and like no one asked questions.
Right, that's amazing.
Yeah,
so good.
So I always think about that.
Yeah. So let's see here. So there's something going on outside, and we hear this music, and I think that we're meant to believe that like this music isn't background music. This is music happening in the game. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because like the characters comment on it here.
In film, we call that diegetic music.
Ooh.
Love
which
it.
is why, like in Solo, a Star Wars story, you hear there's a recruitment video that actually uses the Imperial March in like a very triumphant way, which I think is the only time that song is used in a diegetic way.
That's really fucking cool.
It's a fun term to use.
Yeah,
that
I
is
like
a fun
that.
term.
Yeah, so that's what this is in this case.
Digestive music. Wow.
Yeah. And I will say, before we get talking to our characters, there was a little quip from that old lady that I enjoy that she says, where she says, for the past decades, we've only been talking about Shinra. I miss the times when people only talked about fish.
I like that.
And I love that line.
I like that a lot, especially because my cat's name is Fish.
Oh,
I sent that screenshot to my girlfriend. And I was like, it's us. All we do is talk about fish.
Do you want to have a second podcast where we just talk about fish?
I think that's already reserved for Sarah and I.
Okay.
We've already made jokes.
I would like to be a guest at some point.
We've made jokes about how we were starting a podcast, and she'd be like, what's our podcast about? Like,
did you see the tweet
fish.
that I made on
I did.
yesterday where I was like,
should we bring Fish in here? He might be.
Like as a guest. We'll give him a mic and he just leaves.
If he didn't get fed yet, he might be meowing a lot, so you could hear him.
Oh, nice.
All day I dream about fish.
All day I dream about a DF. So our characters are standing around. They're kind of outside Priscilla's house, just in like a semicircle.
I also put down a note here. Sorry, I just saw this where it's a mistranslation, and in the original demo disc version, it was PHISH, and they're just big into that band.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is it Trey Anastasia? Who's in that band?
I don't know.
I think
I know the band, but I don't know anything about it. Yeah. So all of our characters are standing around in a circle, and like you can talk to each one of them, and they're all saying some version of like, "Oh, what's going on up there?"
It's noisy.
Yeah, so we don't necessarily have to talk about all of them.
Yeah.
But like Eris says that she heard that girl speaking about Priscilla regained consciousness, and I like Red's. Oh wait, no, not right now. Never mind. No, I like Yuffie's, where she's just like, "What is this loud music? It's giving me a headache."
Yeah,
like they're all commenting on it.
Big relate. Music is too loud these days.
Yeah.
I like Yuffie so far playing through, because she's very sensitive to certain senses.
Yeah.
When she's easily dizzied or nauseous.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that happens again. Yeah, in this episode. Yeah. And then Priscilla comes out of the house to talk to us. And, Cloud asks her if she's all right. And she apologizes for mistaking us for Shinra. For Shinra Inc.
For one of those Shinra Inc.
Yeah.
With an ellipsis.
And then she says she'll give us something special. Like all caps, special. And then says, it's an amulet. Take good care of it.
This is a fucking kick-ass amulet.
Is it an amulet? Because one of the things I wrote down, I was like, do you think it's in an amulet? Or like, what? It is a materia. She gives us a materia.
She gives us a summon materia.
Yeah. And it's Shiva.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is, again...
Final Fantasy staple, I think. Right?
Yeah.
It's in most
like
games.
a god.
Yeah. And also a
one
god.
to summon God. Yeah.
Yeah.
God of Destruction, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe. Fact checker.
That's right. Let me not put that on Shiva's name if that's correct. But yeah, we get that materia.
In this, she looks like the goddess of love.
Ooh. Weird.
That's very weird.
Yeah. So she says that she hears that they're rehearsing the reception for the new Shinra president.
Right.
And so now it all kind of comes together what was going on here. They are bringing Rufus in, and the reason there's all this parade music happening is that, they're going to receive the new president.
Yeah, and Barrett's reaction to that is really great.
Oh, I love it. He says, I gotta pay my respects.
Yeah, it's such a cool tough guy thing to say.
So good.
I imagine he like cracks his knuckles
Me too. Yeah. That's exactly what I
on
was
his
thinking.
cannonball or scissors or whatever he has equipped right now.
Yeah.
Just like last episode, about paying respects.
Yeah.
It's all about respect.
It's all about respect.
We so we get a little. She also kind of tells us about the town of Junon, like the fishing settlement of Junon. After this, where she says that her grandmother and grandfather told her that the beach used to be super beautiful and back in the day, but after the Shinra built the city above, the sun stopped shining and the water got polluted.
Yep.
And then she does say, she's like, I was raised on that story, and I hate Shinra so much I could die.
Yep. Barrett's
So-
like, oh, you're trying to join Avalanche?
Yeah.
You want to die?
You'll be new wedge.
You you hate Shinra so much that you could die? Man, I got good news
Yeah,
for you.
I got a group for you to join. Yeah. So our party kind of just talks to each other and kind of says like, oh, Rufus must be getting ready to cross the ocean.
Yeah,
That
and
must
then-
mean Sephiroth is crossing or has crossed the ocean.
Yeah.
And then Red says something to Cloud, which I was like, what? Haven't you been paying attention?
Yeah.
Like he says,
He said it
didn't you finish Rufus off? And I thought that Cloud literally said it.
Those exact words.
Yeah, he was like, no, I let him go. I said that.
Yeah. No, I think his exact words were, someone said, hey, what happened to Rufus? And he said, I couldn't finish him off.
I couldn't finish him off. And
Red's like, oh, I thought
didn't
you
finish
said
him off?
I could finish him off.
Yeah. So Barrett suggests that we could climb he says climb the tower, and there's not like a tower necessarily to speak of. I think he means like the scaffolding and the energy.
Yeah, like the scaffolding, either next to Priscilla's house, or like down by the beach.
Yeah, there's like
There's hella scaffolding in this town.
yeah. There's like what would you call it? Like a power, a bunch of metal rigging,
A power glove.
a power glove, a bunch of metal rigging that essentially like holds up. The
Yeah, it
plate
looks
and
like
powers it.
a construction site or something,
Yeah.
or like a
I think that's what he means by tower.
lot of girders.
Yeah, right. And Priscilla immediately is like, no, you can't do that. There's a high voltage current running underneath the tower. Again, the tower?
Yeah.
It's not really a tower. But anyway, she says there's high voltage current running underneath it. Don't wander near it. It's dangerous. But you might be able to if Mr. Dolphin helps you. And so we're going to go back and be Mr. Dolphin again. The revenge of Mr. Dolphin.
Oh yeah, there's a great bit too where Tifa says high voltage tower. I guess that means Cloud.
I love that
and
so
everyone's
much.
just like, yeah, Cloud's got to do it. Like,
Yeah, everybody agrees
And
immediately.
he's like, oh man, shucks.
Yeah, and as soon as he's like, me, everybody just walks away from him, and they all just go have their own conversations and do their own thing, and they won't even like talk to you or pay attention to you.
Yeah, like Aerith and Tifa are just having a conversation where they're saying nothing, but they're talking to each other.
Yeah, they're like
The Tifa's
purposely not talking to you. They're just saying nothing to be able to not talk to
yeah,
you.
like
about
Tifa
it.
says, "Don't you just hate this?" And Aerith says, "You're probably right."
Yeah, that's so good.
And Red's just like, that looks like a Shinra soldier.
Yeah, they're
Just looking around.
Yeah,
Yeah, so they're all just being assholes. They're like, Cloud's gonna have to do this. We're not even gonna hear any objections.
Barrett's just fantasizing about murder.
Yeah, I
He
know.
goes, I'd like to take a good look at the new president of Shinra Inc.
Yeah,
Ink?
Shinra Inc.
Shinra Inc. Period! Exclamation point.
Oh, it's so good. I like sometimes they have like commas after it too.
Yeah,
Like, just
it's-
change the punctuation.
Like at the one point, it was an ellipsis, but the way they did the ellipsis was Shinra Inc. ... and then a period after that.
Yeah, yeah, it's so good. So we go back to the beach, and what's funny is that Barrett actually immediately follows us down here too.
Yeah.
But Priscilla shows us the fact that the dolphin can just jump out of the water, right? Just like huge leaps.
Big ups.
Come up out the water. It's a GMC faux show. Anyway,
It's a very C-punk episode.
yeah.
Wait, is that the I'm the best guy?
It is the I'm
Fuck
the best
yes.
guy.
Oh my God.
I'm the best. I did it.
Oh god, what's his other song? He's got.
He has so many.
This is canon.
Taking off my shirts.
This is canon
About to
because
make these rifles burst.
Rifles burst.
yeah.
Bars.
There is a anime wall scroll of Cloud Strife in that video.
In his song, The Real Ryan Gosling,
I don't
he
know that
literally says Cloud Strife. And he's like, yo, Final Fantasy, Cloud Strife.
He fucking rules so much.
He's so good.
Oh
GMC
my
Faux
God.
Show, come on our podcast.
Oh my god, that would be. I would be. I would not be able to contain my
I
excitement.
tweeted at him once years ago, and I was like, hey, do a song about video games and let me do a chiptune background for you, or a beat for you.
Oh my god.
And his response is just, sometimes dreams come true. And that was it. And I
Oh
was like,
my God.
what a good fucking tweet
Holy
back.
shit.
Like, if you're going to be non-committal about it, that's the way to do it. It's so good.
That's so good.
He's so cool.
I bet he owns this game. What are we even playing for?
Yeah, I know. Welcome to our
this,
GM.
This joke is going to go over everyone's head, except for like a very select few of my friends.
Yeah, who know the songs of GMC Faux Show. Go listen to GMC Faux Show. It was really good.
Oh, it's so good.
Should I tweet at him right now?
Yeah, tweet at him right now. Be like, we're literally saying nothing but good things about you on a podcast that we're recording right now,
Hell
this
yeah.
second. Anyway, so in the meantime,
Barrett's getting ready to take off his shirt, about to make his rifle burst. But yeah, Barrett, so Priscilla blows a whistle and Mr. Dolphin jumps up really high into the air and
Yeah.
Barrett says, "No, ain't that something? I ain't never seen no dolphin jump like that."
yeah, and
So
Priscilla's,
he's impressed,
Yeah.
as we all are.
and of course, like a kid, Priscilla's like, pretty cool, huh? Like, when I blow this whistle, Mr. Dolphin jumps for me, and she gives it to Cloud, and Cloud's just like, a gift. What am I supposed to do with it? And he's literally just seen what he's going to do with it. But,
Yeah.
and then it kind of gives you some
The
instructions.
tutorial is also hilarious for this, where it just gives you like nothing, like no explanation. It's just
No.
just go into the water, blow this whistle, and Mr. Dolphin will jump you to the top of the pole.
Right. And then
Sounds
Like
was
what
safe.
pole? What tower? What pole?
yeah, and she further explains that it's a rod sticking out at the top. It says if you jump just right, you can climb to the top of the town.
Or if you miss, you'll just bash your head into it.
Yeah.
Wait, do you do that?
No, I mean, just thinking, no way I would do this.
Oh yeah.
no, well,
absolutely.
hold on before we do this. So-
Barrett says, "Good luck. If you make it, we'll follow you."
Yeah, if you make it, yeah. And then he says, I'll hold the PHS for you. It breaks if it gets wet.
Yeah.
So the handy phone is good enough to be able to teleport people between locations and like switch party members, but not as good as the Samsung S9, which is waterproof.
Yeah. Also, I find it very weird that we were just getting like decimated by big wave and like getting covered in water.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh yeah, and the
completely
PHS is fine. Yeah.
yeah, it's a funny little like story beat that it's not really necessary, but I like that they added it. Adds a little bit of flavor, but
Right.
it also doesn't make any sense.
Right. Well, I guess it kind of makes sense in the way that like there will be save points coming up, and they don't want you to like add party members. To
Oh,
your
okay.
party.
Yeah. Wait, does it actually take it out of your ability to?
Yeah, you can't use
Oh,
it.
okay. Never mind then. I
Yeah.
completely.
But yeah, it is.
No,
It's
that's
still a
good.
silly story beat, though. Yeah.
No, that's very good. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that later when I was like trying to find everyone later in this play
Yeah.
through. I was like, why can't I just call them up? And I guess I missed that they took my phone.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Uh,
In
so
the Ziploc bag.
did you guys do anything fun in this section? Or
No, I'm strictly business.
or did you just?
I had explained it to me again, if that's what you mean by fun.
So
Kapora,
you know it
Kapora
doesn't.
did.
It doesn't really tell you where you need to be in the water to
No,
be able to jump.
I did it first try. No bullshit.
Get the fuck out! Really?
I did it first try, just completely like swinging. I mean,
Wow.
the first thing I also have video proof of it. The first thing I did was I swam too far. I touched like part of the tower, and it like makes this little like dink noise.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Where you black out.
Yeah,
and
you black out and you
That's
end
what
up
I
on the
mean.
beach.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So
I
you
thought
can-
I thought you were gonna like play like some song in the
No,
water
no,
somehow
no,
with
no.
the whistle. You just play
No,
conga with the
yeah,
samba
so
whistle.
if you touch the tower or the power lines, it'll go psh, and you'll get electrified and you'll like black out and wake up on the beach and they're like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah, no. Priscilla says there's high voltage running through the bottom of the tower. Don't go near it. Like you
Yeah.
just got owned by it, and she's like, yeah, don't go near that.
Yeah.
Didn't this happen in Night in the Woods? You just electrocute yourself until you just pass out. I'm trying to remember where.
I can't remember.
Never
I
played
love that game.
Do you want me to go
it's
and
so good.
I can go and ask Sarah. She's downstairs. She played through all of that game.
It's so good.
Anyway,
Did you break your Switch screws?
Not yet. I'm trying though. Okay.
There you go.
So once you complete the little mini game and you successfully jump up to the little post.
yeah, I don't think we went into detail with how hard this game is because there's no kind of like
There's no indication.
there's no
of where you're
indication at all.
supposed to be.
It's just literally just trial and error.
Yeah.
And I did it first try, and in like the video I took of me doing it first try, I literally just stand there because I was like, the fuck?
I've never got it first try. It takes me like 10 tries every
Yeah,
time. And it's quick to try again.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you jump, if you miss, you just swim to wherever you want to try it from the next point.
Yeah.
You can try it from where you fall at if you want. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's quick to retry. So you just kind of like fart around until you find a location where the dolphin will jump you to that point.
Yeah.
I don't know how Priscilla figured this out.
Yeah. Hey, maybe she's been to the upper plate before.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
She just nearly drowned. I don't know how she did it.
Every time I hear her name, I was like, shit.
Do you ever wish you could breathe underwater? Yeah, I still do. More
Life Aquatic.
Oh,
jokes.
fuck yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, every time I hear Priscilla's name, it like reminds me that I wanted to start it out by saying like her dialogue is like, these people are kind. There is no place for you here. Like, walk to the plank and jump down or whatever. Like the boss in Dark Souls.
That's so good.
We make it to the top.
Yeah, we make it to the top, and
If
we
you
get a
wanna rock
cool
and
little
roll.
FMV.
Oh yeah, that's a really
Yeah.
good one.
And it actually shows what I didn't notice this too. I kind of like, because we're kind of playing through it, analyzing it, and taking notes, and I'm trying to be more discerning about it. I'm actually playing it on my Switch right now as I talk about it. It actually shows you the build of Junon. Like you can see the town below.
Oh really?
Like where the town is, and there is like a big, like the don't say dock, the airship landing is directly above the town. So all those struts are holding up where we're climbing up to right now, which makes sense because that's where we are. But like it actually is built that way. It looks that way in game. So they do a good job of being like, yeah, this is how it's built out. The landing strip is right there.
That's
right
really
atop
awesome.
town. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we make our way up to the Junon airport.
Yeah, and we get our first view of an airship, and it's a giant beast of an airship.
Enormous.
And like for people who don't play JRPGs or whatever, who aren't like familiar with like the JRPG airship trope, right? It is essentially like usually they're like zeppelins or something, right? Like a lot of times they'll be like full of air, like a
whatever the
a big bag of air,
whatever the fuck
helium.
the APOC is from Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
I have an update. GMC Fosho tweeted me back.
Oh hell yes!
What did he say?
I said we literally been talking about GMC Fosho in this episode every FNF. We'd love to have you on to talk about FF7 Mr. Show.
Mr. Show.
Mr. Show.
And he responded.
Bob Odenkirk responds as well.
He said somebody stole the last disc out of my dad's Jeep a long ass time ago.
Oh
It's been a hot minute since I've gotten down on it.
Someone get us his PO box. We are sending him disc
The third
3.
disc. Yeah.
The fucking rules.
Tell him we'll find a third disc for him and send it to him.
What's your mailing address?
Well, yeah. What's your mailing address? We'll send you. I love this. We're
Oh
gonna
my
send
God.
GMC Fosho just disc 3 of Final Fantasy 7. God.
Oh my god, that would be a top life moment for me.
I know,
I've had
that'd
some
be
pretty
so
weird
good.
and cool life moments, but I think that would top it.
That would be the best one.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope this conversation continues as we
God,
do this episode.
we'll keep you posted on Show Watch.
Show watch.
That's Showbiz, baby.
So we get up on the I keep wanting to call it the helipad, but that's not what it is.
Yeah, the location is called the airport, but there is a helipad here and also just a giant like landing strip for this enormous like airship, which like Curtis says looks like a Zeppelin.
It's like a fucking like a sports Zeppelin. I don't know how to describe it. Like instead of like having a large like blimp top, I don't know what to call it, like a large bag of helium or something.
Yeah.
It's very like
It looks like
sleek.
some bullshit that Elon Musk would think is cool and try and design.
Don't
And then
ma-
probably
don't,
kill
don't
a
make
bunch
me not like the high wind.
True,
Come on.
the high wind is very
Don't
good.
ruin the high wind for me. So this is not the Tesla.
Yeah.
This is the
This is good actually.
This is the 1997 Toyota Camry of airships,
Oh,
baby.
yeah.
Efficient, pretty decent looking.
The Geo Metro of
Yeah. But no, it's cool looking. It's hard to describe because there is a lot of detail to it.
yeah.
But the carriage, like there would be on a Zeppelin or a blimp, is kind of farther back a little bit more. I like the actual
Yeah, it's not at the helm.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a correct ship term. I think helm is front.
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Man, it's so hard to describe. But there are like several propellers too. Like it's.
Oh, I know the perfect way to describe it for the listener. Assuming you're not driving, go to www.google, which is google.com, and type in Highwind.
There you go.
Highwind Final Fantasy VII. No, there's actually I think in the like physical like CD case of Final Fantasy VII, if you open it up,
I think it's like there's a
like on the inside, like when you take the disc out and everything, there's this like great picture of
literally the scene, right?
And kind of it has Aerith standing in front of it, but it's like iconic imagery from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, right.
So if you've seen that picture, then you get 1 gold star, and you should give us 5 gold stars.
Yeah, give us 5 gold stars on iTunes. So
it looks cool as hell, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah. So when we get in control of Cloud again, we can also see, and this doesn't really become important until much, much, much later. And even then, we can discuss how important it really is. But there is a sick like aircraft carrier, or what would you call it? Not an aircraft carrier, a military helicopter plane, like one of those helicopters that essentially like move tanks.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to think of what those are called, but they're like
fact checker.
Yeah, he's busy tweeting.
Oh yeah, but he's got way more important things to do.
Right,
is that like an Apache helicopter? I don't know.
I don't know
shit about shit.
But there are flying vehicles that can take care of like tanks and stuff like that and drop those.
Awesome.
And there's one of these on the helipad.
Oh okay.
So,
I think I kind of see. Is that weird structure in the back?
Yeah, it's like brown and white camo.
Oh, I thought that was like some sort of mountains or some shit.
No, we actually get to see it in action later.
So, sick.
Yeah.
Cool. So
which I forgot about.
Keep an eye
it
out
last
for
time.
that.
Yeah. So we walk into the I would say Junon proper. Junon is kind of like half inside, half outside.
Yeah, it's weird.
You know?
It's laid out weird, but you take this like giant lift. Yeah, you hit a button and it starts moving down, and I think there's like lights that are going and stuff.
It's pretty tight.
And you can still run around as the lift is going. You see your little field model running around.
Yeah.
And it's going back to what we were saying about like the music being in this scene in the game. When you're outside, it's like kind of low and
diabetic music.
Yeah. Wilford Brimley, shout out.
Come on, podcast.
But you also hear like some ambient noise of like, I think like propellers and shit. And then when you run inside, the music instantly gets louder.
Yeah, it's like now it's like full volume.
Yeah.
And as soon as you walk inside, 3 Shinra soldiers run right by you, and they're like, "Oh, hurry! The new president, he's here!" You know.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah, like just getting through.
Yeah. And they're like,
all hands are on deck.
Yeah, and so they're like commander. I don't know, like.
So I wrote down captain just because I was thinking. I wrote that
commander
down. They explicitly say commander, but then later they also say captain. I think.
Let's say that he is. There's an individual.
Mr. Commanderson.
So there's the Shinra Guard uniform, which is like blue and has a helmet with like a mask on it and like 3 like laser eyes, look like X-ray vision.
Yeah, just like the MP.
Right,
like,
you can't see their faces or anything. And then like the captains or the commanders or whatever are kind of in like red, like a red jacket and like a red military cap.
Yeah,
and you can see their faces. And so anytime we say like the red Shinra soldiers, that'll be the captain or commander.
Yeah.
So I figure we'll just refer to them that way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So he sees you, and instead of assuming that you're an intruder. I was getting ready to say an interloper.
An enemy of the state.
That's too much. Yeah. He just goes,
interloper is cool.
Yeah. He was just like, "Oh, you're still dressed like that? Come in here." And so, because he thinks that you're a soldier who's just not dressed up.
Yeah. Did you go right to him or did you walk away first?
I tried to walk away first, and he says, "Hey, rookie, can't you hear me? Come over here."
Yeah.
And so they make you go into the locker room.
Yeah, so you go into the...
Yeah, get over here.
You go into the locker room, and he's saying that, today's the big day where they're welcoming President Rufus. And he says, hurry up and change. And there's one locker that's, like, slightly ajar.
Yeah, it's like busted and, like, ajar.
Yeah, it's lucky that there's a uniform in there. You can also, like, talk to him again. Because I was just like, I want to see how pissed off I can make this guy. And I talked to him again, and he's like... There's a uniform in that locker. Go change. Like,
yeah. But
he also says, "Quit yapping. Hurry up."
And Cloud has like a little walk down memory lane here. It's not like a flashback or anything. But as he's putting on the Shinra uniform. He's like, oh, this brings back memories. I was so proud when I first put it on.
Yeah.
I wonder when it was that I couldn't stand it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then he kind of like doesn't walk off screen, but like he walks
it's
into
like the
an
perspective
area.
the perspective
Yeah.
of the camera is above, and there's like a portion of the lockers are like not showing on the screen, so he walks like over towards the wall, so we can't really see him.
Yeah. and
But
then-
you can see his head poke out a little bit, and he's doing like a little shuffle.
Yeah, trying to get the pants on.
It looks like he's putting on the pants,
Yeah.
which is really good.
That is really good, yeah. So he says, and I love that I wrote this down in my notes too, that the captain just goes, wow, you look really good in it.
Yep.
And I was like, man, I wish that was like a thing to be expected, that like you show up for work with like whatever on it, and people were like, man, y'all look great. Like, you know.
So I kind of took it the other way, where
Oh, really?
this dude's already like pissed at you. You know, because he's like, "Oh, hurry up, quit yapping!" All of this. He's like, and he's like the commander, and just like any fictional or like I guess in the real military or whatever of the drill sergeant stuff. Like,
I have a Full Metal Jacket, very like
you thought he was like
Exactly.
starting with you.
like wow,
No,
you
no-
look great in it.
no, I think he was serious about it, but I think it just goes to show how like in shape and awesome Cloud is, because
Oh,
like
okay,
he's like trying to give you shit, and he's like fucking rookie, like get in here and stuff, and then like Cloud is like an ex-soldier. This guy doesn't know that, and he just puts on this uniform, and then
Yeah.
the guy's like, "Oh wow, you look really great in that."
Okay,
Like,
well, I would put it this way. I was very flattered by it. When
Yeah,
I
no,
played. I
it-
was like, nice, good.
I think it shows how like flattering it is. Like I don't know if he like looks so good in it that it can't be denied.
There's a
it.
lot of positive bro energy throughout this game.
It's so, yeah.
Anytime Cloud has had an outfit change in this game, everyone's complimented on him, and that's,
yeah,
that's awesome.
I know.
You go, girl.
Yeah, yeah.
So then he asks about the greeting procedure for the president, and
And
then
he
we
just
get
says-
into another like mini game territory.
I
which
love
is
that he
really
just says, the look on your face tells you that you forgot the greeting.
good. And he says, "All right, I'll show you again," which is funny though, because like you're wearing a mask.
yeah,
So-
yeah. So how could he see your face through the helmet?
Which, and like you could be like, oh, semantics and stuff, but there's a bit later where someone tells you to take off your mask. So
yeah, yeah.
Speaking of, Cloud should be pretty much instantly recognized as soon as he steps on into Junon, don't you think?
yeah,
Like there should be like keeping a watch out for the spiky haired.
You would
fella.
think
Yeah.
that they would be like, they would put like pictures of him or something up. Yeah.
I kind of chalk that up to just Shinra kind of being really full of themselves and
Yeah.
not taking, or like taking
Well-
themselves seriously, but
Or
also
maybe
being
they're-
really bad at their jobs. Like,
I don't want to like. So here's where we're gonna get serious about it, right?
Hell yeah.
But I don't want to sound like I'm not trying to be a Shinra sympathizer, right? Yeah. So
Shinra
it's very fine
apologist.
people on both sides.
not quite exactly. I'm not quite trying to say that, but I will say that like in isolation, right? When they're just talking to each other, they're very like unsuspecting.
They're humanized.
Yeah, like again, like like positive bro energy between them all.
Yeah.
where they're like, "Hey, buddy, we're gonna stick up for each other and deal with this stuff." So like when they see you, I bet that they're just like, "It's another person who's on the base. That must mean that they're my friend. They're like they
Yeah.
must be in the military and must be fine."
Yeah.
Like, so like they're oddly supportive of each other.
And going more into that too, I think there's a lot in this section where it kind of shows people who their motivations for being in like this military are like vastly different
Yeah.
depending on who you talk to.
Yeah, right.
So it kind of changes how you see certain people as
especially when we actually get to walk through the town here in a
well.
second.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but so he's gonna show us.
The greeting procedure.
The greeting procedure.
And then two other guys run in.
Just
in the
run
same,
in.
Same uniform as you, the same rank as you, and they say, Commander, we'll help too.
And I love what the next guy says. We'll sing too.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, this is how to do it, which when I heard that, I just thought, this is how we do it. And then I just imagined that song playing and they're all dancing.
I wonder if these are. They remind me a lot of the squatting guys. They're just very.
Oh yeah, same energy.
same
The
energy.
nice jock energy.
More himbos, please.
Yeah, I was gonna say a bunch of himbos. So I love that when they go, "We'll sing." The next one goes, "Quietly!" exclamation mark, and then the next guy just screams. He just goes, "Ah!" like that, and like
They're real jazzed.
they are super stoked. And then you don't actually do anything here. They're not really like, you're not really playing a mini game or anything.
Yeah, they're just
instructions.
marching.
They're just marching, and
You can
he's-
move around, but you don't
Yeah.
march or do anything.
And the commander, or the red Shinra guard, is telling you just keep in step with the soldier next to you and march smoothly. No big deal. But I did want to bring up that one of them is singing a song in the background, and I actually got all the lyrics for the song.
I got it right here too.
And
I got screenshots of them, but I'm glad you have them all compiled nicely.
And I'm going to quote the whole song here.
Here we go.
Because it is not great.
All right,
It sucks.
let me cue up the music for you.
Okay. I'm not going to sing it because I don't have no fucking clue how this would
Do you want me to
fit,
get my tuning fork?
if you would. La la la. Okay, so these are the words of the song. Rufus. Rufus Shinra. We are Shinra Company. The new president. Oh. Shinra.
Sing along if you know.
Shinra Incorporated.
There it is.
Realization of the new era. New president. Fuss. Shinra Incorporated. Building the new era. Shinra forever. And that's the whole thing.
Whew, that's rough. This
It sounds like this was like written at like a some pitch meeting for like the new branding. Like, all right, we got this new theme song. Everyone's super hype.
or like
It's not great.
Team building and all that stuff. Super motivational.
something like Poochie, but not so on the nose. So Poochie okay with everyone? Like but
yeah, it's not great.
yeah. Oh god, that gives me like thoughts of the Walmart song or anything. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Where there's this like disgusting like Walmart like corporation like has their employees sing some like hype song about how great
God.
Walmart or like the Walden family is or whatever the fuck. Yeah,
That's
it's
very
rough.
disturbing.
I think they showed it in like training videos or something. I forget where I saw that, but it was very, very upsetting.
That is very upsetting.
Very dehumanizing.
So that's really all there is to this scene.
Yeah. Then it shifts over to a like a little like panning cutscene where you see kind of more of Junon.
Ooh, I'd like to point out before we actually get to that,
Sure thing.
because you don't have to immediately follow those soldiers out the door. At this point, you can run around to the other rooms that the guard tried to stop you before, where he goes, "Oh, didn't you hear me?"
Oh, yeah.
So actually, I got on the elevator and I went back down to Junon. And as soon as the elevator opens on the first floor, back where the Junon village is, the soldier there turns around and says, "What are you doing? It's not time for shift change yet. No, you can rest for a little while. Don't worry about it, homie." And he told you to go back. He's like, "Hey, don't worry. You're fine. Take it easy. We're not shift changing yet." And he sends you back up the elevator.
Yeah, that elevator is weird too because it's one of like some areas that I've seen in this game where you can't actually like do the 3 times speed.
I was gonna bring that up in a different one, but this one,
it happens. It happens even weirder in the next one that you're.
Yeah, that one actually has like a full motion video inside of it, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
but the next one that we'll talk about.
The next one makes no sense.
Wait, sorry. Yeah, go ahead and talk about that cutscene. Yeah,
there's just a cutscene where you see like a woman looking out her window. It looks almost like apartment complexes or something, like just a bunch of different windows of probably different units.
Yeah.
And then there's banners, like red banners with like really stylized text that say Rufus going down them.
Yeah,
and I think it also says like New Age. Like we see the sign a little closer a little later on, but it just kind of pans down and shows a helicopter coming in.
Yeah, and this scene, we actually get to... The very, very beginning of it is interesting, too, because you kind of control Cloud for a second running around the street, and then it pans so far out that you can't really control him anymore. Yeah. And actually, I was mistaken. This is the one that shows the underside of the heliport that shows Junon. Earlier, it just shows you the aircraft landing strip itself.
Oh, okay.
This is actually the one that shows you the building of the whole city.
Now, all the nerds who were trying to correct you on Twitter have to save
quickly
that in draft
delete their
the next time we fuck up.
Yeah. So immediately they realize that they're late and the parade has already moved on.
Yep.
So like they thought it was going to be on the street and they're like, "Oh my god, it's not here. What are we doing?" So
and then it kind of shows just the parade starting where there's a bunch of soldiers marching and
first, before that happens, they say the 2 soldiers are like, "It's okay, Captain. We'll take a shortcut." And they're like, "Oh, rookie, it's your fault for running around like that. Like we wouldn't be late if it wasn't for you."
Getting blamed again.
And they all run up to an alley. And if you just try to run by, the captain gets mad at you, and he's like, "Rookie, what are you doing? You're already in trouble. Get in this alley."
Don't get any madder than I already am.
Don't make me any madder than I already am.
I was just trying to pet that dog.
I know.
Oh, I actually have that in my notes. I say, like, you can't go further to where there's that dog.
Yeah.
Like, proving that you can't pet the dog.
Well, we'll get to the dog.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, sorry. Go ahead. Parade, yes.
I was just going to say that Rufus is driving through in the shittiest looking car.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's doing the whole thing. He's standing up and waving, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be weird if there was like a president in like a civilized country who has, a military parade when he's starting and just showing off his might. Wouldn't that be fucked up?
We're living in the.
I bet if they did, they'd
best
have a bigger
timeline.
turnout than this guy.
Very nice. In the White House right now is a picture of like a rally, but it's actually just a picture of FF7. And he's like, "We had the biggest parade." And you're like, "Sir, that's a scene from FF7."
We had the highest poly model generals of all time.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so we see the parade going by, and behind the car there are just like these little like squads of soldiers marching in like squares formation, right?
Yeah. They are squares.
Yeah, and one of them says, "All right, I'll go first. You see how I do it, and then you follow my lead."
This one was really hard, I feel
I
like.
got it first try.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Which I only got
I need
first
to
try.
hand my God Gamer scepter over to
Well, let me
you.
just say, I only got it first try because every other time I've played this game, which is like 10 times, I just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And I've done it enough to be like, okay, I know what to do now.
I think I got it second try.
You literally have to the way I did it was actually following the steps of the first guy, where you run to the right first. So the parade is going to the left, right? On like when you're looking at the screen, they're heading left, and what he says is find a squad that doesn't have all of its members, run into the back row, and just jump in the back row and pretend like you've been there the whole time.
Yeah.
So one soldier shows you how to do it, and he runs to the right to get behind a group real fast, scampers toward the camera because that's where the gap is, and then just falls in line like he's been there the whole time.
Yeah.
So that's what you're supposed to do, and it is touchy. It's super touchy.
It's weird.
Yeah, which this time I got it right because, like I said, I ran to the right as well. And I went as far as I could toward the right side of the screen before I tried to cross the street and get into that little section, and it worked first time.
I think the way that I did it was I just literally just moved forward in front of the soldiers who were like marching in and then just got in the spot, and it was just fine.
The thing is, I don't know what the fail condition is. Like, there's some condition to where they go, "Oh, you messed it up," but I don't know why I'm messing it up when I do.
Yeah, I think I looked it up to see what I think if you like do it well on the first try or whatever, you get like 6,000 gil or something weird.
6 potions.
6 potions. No, I think there's a like different scale of.
I thought it was only 2 for this one. Maybe not.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
I'll have to consult the ancient texts of game facts again. But
Yeah.
There's also a weird live TV rating that shows in the
Yeah,
bottom.
right,
Wouldn't it be
yeah.
weird if there was like a like some sort of like president who was obsessed with ratings, so that was the only thing that mattered?
Failing Shinner times.
But yeah, so the fail condition that I got was really good though.
Where he fires that guy?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
a guy
did you-
gets fired. It's a TV producer says, "What the hell was that soldier doing?" AD, which I don't know what that stands for.
I don't know.
Assistant director, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know. Whatever. He says, "I don't know. Are the points up? This is terrible. Am I fired? What? You're fired." And then it says, "Send that soldier a bomb or something." And the reward that you get is a grenade.
You get a grenade.
Which is good because I like. There's been a
It's a good
couple of
item.
times where I would be like
Yeah.
unable to use magic or like
And you throw
have
a grenade,
limit
yeah.
or something, and I was just like, I need a grenade. So I needed that. So thanks.
So when I did it, the difference is they ask, "Well, how are the ratings?" And AD says, "Well, they're so." And the other person goes, you better send that soldier something." And it says, "Received 6 potions."
That's so good.
So
It's just the 2 options, I think.
Really, I must have been reading a.
there are more options in the next one. The
Okay.
next minigame coming
Maybe
up.
that's what I'm thinking of.
Maybe.
Oh, with the
Yeah.
My uncle works at Final Fantasy, and he told me that I was right about the 6,000 gil. So you guys just didn't. You got to get 100% TV rating. So that's why.
Actually, it's not even percent. You can get 200 or so.
Well, no, that's the
Yeah.
next game.
Yeah. You're right.
That's the president mood scale.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So
all right, we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
And then there's a new FMV, I think, after this. Which is just
Is there?
I think it's just showing off the huge cannon.
Yeah.
Right?
Is it right there? I thought it was earlier. Maybe it is right here. There isn't. Put it this way: either right here or
right
a
before.
second ago.
At some point in this episode that we were talking about, that happened.
It's right in this area. It's either right before or right after the parade.
It's really cool. It's a great FMV.
Yeah, actually, let's talk about that real quick. So, like we said last time, Junon kind of like looks like the front of a tank carved into a mountainside, like overlooking the ocean. But there is a giant fucking cannon just sticking out of the city, and the city is built like It's almost like row homes, right?
Yeah.
It's like the city's made of a bunch of row homes kind of on a slant, and where the cannon actually begins to protrude into the ocean, these row homes are huge. They're just several floors large. I don't even really want to call them row homes. They're almost like apartment buildings.
Yeah.
Maybe more so. But they're lined up flush with each other like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're all the same build style, which is why I kind of want to call them a row home and not apartment buildings, but they are more like apartments. And they're all like gold painted. They're all like shiny and everything. They have these like the red signs you were talking about that say like Rufus on them.
Yeah.
The banners and stuff. And we're just walking along like the one street in front of all these houses. Right?
Yeah.
So like if we're walking down that street on our say that we're like on our right is where the cliffside would be, and on our left is where the ocean would be. It slopes down toward the ocean. So on our left, we can just see out into the ocean.
Right.
And on our right are these large houses that you can't see over because they're huge. And that's kind of what it looks like. And then that giant cannon just sticking out over the sea.
So each block is like one level lower than the other one, so you get kind of like a stair almost, but it's like each street is its own step almost. Going up towards the cannon. I just realized I was looking at this. It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cannon, like, it's like the barrel of it is bigger than these houses.
Yeah.
Like, it's enormous. When we're saying
It's
big,
insane.
it's insane big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a skyscraper.
Little
outside
needless.
kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nuts.
So we get to the end of that street, the parade's over, and we see Rufus again for the second time in the game, right? We haven't seen him since Midgard.
Since his home planet needed him.
Yeah, since he grabbed the side of that helicopter and flew away. So he's standing there with Heidegger, who we've seen before. The what is he? Peace. What is the name of
the Peace Preservation
Peace
Unit
Preservation?
or something,
yeah, head of Peace
like
Preservation.
And I don't know,
which means just war.
Yeah, we talked about what he looks like, right? Like he's a big guy with a big beard and wears a big green coat.
Yeah. So they're standing there, and there's some soldiers, and we kind of run into the back of this group of soldiers. They're all facing Rufus, kind of standing at attention, right? And Rufus is talking to Heidegger at this point. We're not actually like doing anything. The soldiers are just standing at attention. They're not actually doing anything, but kind of just standing there.
Yeah.
And Rufus is talking to Heidegger, and he says, "What happened to the airship?" And Heidegger's like, "Oh, the long-range airship is still being prepared." And that, I'm assuming they're talking about the High Wind.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the only long-range airship.
Which I think remains unnamed for a little while. But
right, we don't actually know it's called the High Wind.
That ship that we saw earlier.
Right. And he says it'll be ready in about 3 more days. And then I like that Rufus actually says, even the Air Force's Gelnica, which is a thing that will happen later in the game. And I didn't realize he says it here.
Yeah.
Because there's a location much, much later, toward the end of the second disc, we can go to called the Gelnica, or even in the third disc. And I didn't know they actually mentioned it. Like, when I got there, I was like, when do they ever say Gelnica? Like, how would you know that that's what this is called? Yeah. And here it is right here. He says, even the Air Force's Gelnica. So that's a plane.
Oh, okay.
They have. Yeah, and he's asking if that's ready. And Heidegger just laughs. And
this is great. And I also wrote down that when he laughs, I just thought of Dr. Robotnik's laugh from Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Just like something about the graphics and just the way it is, just like the wah, wah, wah.
And yeah, he does go.
He says gwah, ha, ha. And Rufus
Love
says,
it.
"Stop that stupid horse laugh."
Love it. And that's like a reoccurring thing. He keeps calling it a stupid horse laugh.
Yeah. And then he reminds him that things are different than when Father was in charge.
Right. Yeah. So he asks if
and then Rufus starts laughing again and stops himself.
Yeah. And then he asks if the ship's ready. Heidegger says it is. We're getting it ready quickly. Right?
Yeah, and then it's great because he Rufus climbs into like this. I don't even know what the fuck it is. Like there's
it's like
an elevator tram.
Yeah, it's kind of a tram. It goes up. I think it goes up diagonally up to the top.
Yeah. So Rufus climbs into that, and then Heidegger runs towards the crowd of soldiers and just starts swinging at them.
Yeah, swinging at them because he's so frustrated
them.
from like Rufus like talking shit about him.
Yeah.
And Cloud doesn't run away. All of the other soldiers run away and try to get away from Heidegger, and the Cloud just stands there, and Heidegger just keeps punching him over and over and over, and Cloud just stands there and deals with it. He just takes him, punching him, and like Heidegger doesn't know that that's Cloud. He's just taking his fury out on random soldiers.
Yeah, exactly.
And so Cloud's just standing there getting hit in the chest, just like, what are you doing? Stop that.
Yeah, and then they have a little bit of dialogue that's pretty important where they're like, oh man, this was a disaster. Heidegger was really irritated the man in the black cape's been roaming the city, but we can't find him.
Yep.
And Cloud says, man in black cape. And then someone says, he showed up 2 or 3 days ago and killed a few of our soldiers.
Yeah.
He disappeared right after that. And there's a rumor going around that it was Sephiroth.
I love it. We keep hearing rumors about Sephiroth being
so good.
somewhere.
It's so good.
And it's always like, when he comes to town, shit's serious. You know what I mean? Everybody's out looking for him. He's killing soldiers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you're dismissed by the captain. And then he runs up to you and says, hey, you.
Are you messing
with the army? What did you say to him?
I said, what if I am?
Oh, shit, so did I.
Okay, yeah.
So what does he... Do you want to go into what he...
he says, you're too lazy. No break for you. So he takes you back into the locker room that we were in before, where we got the Shinra uniform at. Mm-hmm. And he says, this is the military soldier. He's mad at you.
Yeah.
But he tells us that our new orders are to send President Rufus off at the dock. So we're going to be in a little like group of soldiers who are sending him off. And he says, today's command is formation. And the two Shinra soldiers that helped us before run back in.
Our singing boys.
The singing boys. They run in and say, what's today's special pose? Or wait, no, that's later.
Yeah,
I didn't
today's
take...
command is formation.
Yeah, and then we actually do it. So we get a little instructions on how we're going to be doing a mini game here in a minute. Mm-hmm. And it's very simple, very like Simon says. The commander shouts out a button, and then you press the button. That's really about what it is.
Yeah.
There's not really much more to it than that. And when you press a button, you get a little animation.
And this is how I figured out what button is the switch button. Finally.
Hell yeah. So they say they don't know what their final pose is.
Yeah, so they want to have a final pose. They're like, when we're done with the whole thing, after you've done all these poses and he's called it all out, we're going to do a final pose. What's today's special pose? And they let you decide.
Yeah, they say, go ahead, rookie, you decide.
And it's so fucking good. They say, show me your best move.
Mm-hmm.
And Cloud just goes, well, my best move is... And then he just does his battle-ending move. Yeah. It's so good. It's just him spinning his sword around like he does every time you win a battle.
He's spinning his gun around the same way he spins the sword around. Yeah. And everyone's like, whoa.
Yeah, I think it's so cool. They're like, oh, wow, that's so good. We'll go with that one. And he tells you to meet them at the dock.
Yeah.
And so now we actually have free reign for the first time to run around Junon.
Yeah, I think they give you like a little tutorial here, like you were saying, and it's basically just press A, B, X, or Y, or whatever buttons you have, and turn left and turn right.
Yeah. And that's all that there really is to that game,
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we get to run around Junon for the first time. And as soon as we run it,
there's so many shops.
As soon as we walk onto the street, we see Pitbull again. So we always see Rude.
Oh, I didn't see him on the street.
Yeah, really? Rude's walking in.
But I did find their hideout. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. So as soon as we walk out, Rude is walking into a little alley. And so I just followed him immediately because I was like, what's Rude up to? Or actually, no, wait, I did that second. I have it here on my thing. Actually, first thing I did was I went into the little store. There's a little chubby man.
I thought it was Palmer.
I thought it was Palmer too.
It looks
and he
very
looks
much
a lot
like Palmer's field model, but it ends up just being like the shopkeeper of this, which I think, what is this, the item store or the material store? Item store.
Yeah. And he's like standing out. Wait, is it? Hold on, it's a material store. My apologies.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. So he's standing in the doorway trying to like get people to come into his
he's
store.
like trying to beckon people in.
Yeah. And so he's saying his sales are bad, and you can go in there and you can buy like the Sense materia and Revive, I think, for the first time.
Yeah, so there's Revive and Seal.
Yeah,
and I think Seal.
That's $6,000 to buy both of them too.
Yeah,
which is like pretty much all I had. So I sold the rest of my ethers.
Nice.
And kept my turbo ethers and stuff to get
those
money.
Stolen ethers.
Yeah, right.
How the hell do you sleep at night? You just use Sleeple from the Seal materia that you're buying here.
That's right. So I go into the next building, and as soon as you walk in, it's a weapons store. And I like that there's like a little laser going across the room.
Oh, yeah.
And that acts as like the door chime.
Yeah.
Like when you walk in, it goes
like in a
ding!
retail store, yeah.
Yeah. And you can buy some weapons here. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Again, mostly just shops. But this place has a basement, and this is where Rude ran off to. Mm-hmm. And if you go down there and talk to Rude, he says... Well, he just says "then" as the first word, which I don't know why that is. But he goes, "Then take your mask off and come here. That's our rule."
Yeah,
which seems like a weird translation to say.
Yeah, he says something. I don't have the screenshot pulled up, but isn't he like? I got the impression that he's like, "Oh, you want to play like this game?" It looks like they're about to play a game of poker or something.
Right. Yeah.
He says like, "Oh, the rule is take off your mask." So like, Rude knows Cloud, and Rude is looking for Cloud,
but he doesn't know that it's him.
And he looks at his face and says, "Oh, you have to take your mask off." But the guy was like, "Oh, I can tell from your face that you don't know what we're doing." Like,
Right,
really?
right,
Like,
yeah.
So I mean, inconsistent mask.
Game's ruined. This game's trash.
This game sucks.
If you wear the mask, you know
10 out of 10.
how the people use it.
Yeah.
He was really good at the mask because he's been wearing it for so long.
Yeah. He's the man in the
I'm trying to make a reference to the smoking.
Yeah,
I was like,
the
why can't I
mask,
think of
yeah.
any The Mask
Yeah.
references? I forgot the fucking big one.
Somebody stop him.
Smocking.
So there's really nothing else to do in that little underground bar. Really, Rude's down there. He tells you to take the mask off if you want to play the game with them.
Yeah.
And I go into the next building. I love the next building because as soon as you walk into the next building, there's a dog sitting on a trash can.
Oh,
and-
hell yeah. Big
and
time relate.
Already, best room.
Big
in Junon. Big mood. But yeah, there's a dog on a trash can. And then there's a guy running around in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy,
this guy.
he says, I can't find the uniform that I left in my locker.
Yeah.
Or no, wait, first he says, I slept in, nobody woke me up, right? That's the first thing he says, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, nobody woke me up. I'm supposed to be somewhere. And then if you talk to him again, he says, I can't find the uniform that I left in my locker. I wonder if I forgot it. And I was like, oh, this is the dude's clothes that we're wearing right now. Like,
I didn't follow up with the dialogue, so I only got the first part where he was running around late. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he's late. No, but he goes,
that's
oh,
so good.
my clothes weren't in my locker. And yeah, so you're wearing this guy's clothes.
That's so
and he
funny,
doesn't know
yeah.
what he's doing. So he's looking through his boxes and drawers and everything. And then he says, geez, do you think this is what they call hazing? So he thinks that maybe they're hazing him and they like took his stuff.
That sucks because
He is
everyone,
the rookie, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah.
everyone who would have been hazing him like loves Cloud too.
I know.
Like, that's so
I
funny.
know. And then I like the last thing that he says before it repeats or whatever. He just says, oh man, my future in the military is pretty bleak.
Oh, nice.
I know, it's so good. And before we go downstairs, I want to go upstairs.
Okay,
and
yeah,
talk
there's a
about
lot to talk about downstairs.
Yes. So in this building and the next one or two from now that we'll go into, you can find every source that we were talking about last time. That sources
Mind source, power source.
Yeah. So there's like 2 in this room and 2 above us, and so instead of going through this room has this one or whatever, just know that like over the next 2 buildings,
go around and
that's all of them. But there's a 1/35th scale soldier toy on the ground here.
which is funny. The first time I played this and I got that, it said 1/35th, and I didn't think of it in terms of like.
I thought that there were 35 of them.
I was like, I gotta find 35 of these fucking things.
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought it was too.
Yeah.
And like back in the day, I remember kids telling like rumors that like, oh, if you get all of them, you can get Eris back.
Yeah.
Or if you get all of them, you get a second airship. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what? And so yeah, fucking assholes. But no, it's just I looked on the wiki.
I didn't know what it was either, but I did see. I did find out what it's for, and it's pretty much useless.
Yeah, I
but
think you can see it in the villa later, right?
Yeah, you can get a villa at like the next town that we're in at some point,
Yeah.
and all the ones that you have will be on display, there,
Right.
which is pretty funny.
So actually, the crazy thing is there are 12 that you're supposed to be able to get through the game, which is crazy because I thought that there were like 3.
Yeah, for some reason, even after like looking into it, I thought there were 7.
Yeah. But
We're
you
really
can-
good at
you
numbers.
can actually get 99 of them because you can get them as a prize at the Golden Saucer in the last disc. Right. Crazy.
Holy shit! Do
I
they
know.
all display?
I bet they don't.
I want to grind and
Yeah.
get 99.
I think it's just the 3 looking at this.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All right. Yo, there are also 2 cats in this room.
Oh, I know those cats.
It's very cute.
They're like on top of a bunk bed.
Yes, they are. And
think
one's
that's
like a
the-
little cute little calico cat.
I think that's the room where you get the Luxorus.
Could
I
be.
believe.
That's
and
pretty
the
lucky.
reason I have that note is because I have a cat named Lucky, and it kind of looks like the one that's
Aw.
crawling around. And
Love it.
He's a very good boy.
So you go up to the next floor up, and there's a dog in a room. Also very good.
There's a lot of
dog
dogs
in a
and
trash
cats.
room. Cats on a fucking bed.
So good.
Dog.
Junon's growing on me, guys.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the best town so far.
But I like that there's a guy upstairs he's in a soldier uniform, and he's like, hey, I can't do anything. Don't talk to me. He's studying, and he
Yeah.
says the road to becoming soldier first class is very difficult.
Yep.
And I was like, oh shit, he's somebody else trying to become first class like Cloud and Sephiroth.
Studying like a big old dork.
Yep. And he says, as a man with promise and future, I don't have any time to fool around like the rest of you.
Oh, I actually saw
Dick.
that, and I was like, I should start the podcast out with that. Say that to you
I
guys.
love that. So there's also on the first floor, there's a Shinra guard in a doorway, and he talked to him, and he's like, okay, you can.
It's weirdly hidden too.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of out of the way. You can kind of see only the top of his head.
Yeah, like if you have the if you toggled on like showing which direction you can go in, where there's arrows over the doors, you'll see that you can go that way.
Yeah.
But like when I first walked in there, I didn't have that on.
Yeah.
And I just like kind of like was button mashing, trying to see if there was anything that I could like collect.
Yeah.
And then I talked to the soldier, and you go down to the respectable inn.
I love it so much. So you go down to, so there's basically that hallway leads to a ladder that you can take down into this room that looks like a maintenance room for the building or something.
Yeah. I think that the song changes too.
Yeah, it does. And I love this room because of a couple pieces of dialogue, but it's basically like the tutorial from the very first episode that we did.
It's like the exact same, I think.
It's the exact same as the tutorial room. There are 2 new tutorials here that you can do about how to learn limit breaks, and it actually tells you like, okay, use the limit breaks and then kill enemies.
Yeah,
So-
it tells you, but it doesn't tell you specifics. It's like, oh, how do you get like
Yeah.
Cloud literally says like, I'm not going to tell you everything. Like
Yeah,
you have to
yeah.
find out for yourself. It's like, what the fuck?
And then
Fine, I'll go to GameFAQs.
yeah, and then the pieces of the tutorial that you could have done in the first episode are there as well.
Yeah.
And if you remember, plate 7
That was
fell down and crushed everybody in Midgar.
That was the Sector 7 slum.
The Sector 7 slum.
Those guys are there now.
They're there, but they're ghosts.
They're transparent.
They're
and
transparent.
I went down and I was like, oh, is this holograms? Like, okay, it's a training area. And then I realized, I was like, these are fucking ghosts.
Did you read what the bottom one said?
Maybe. Refresh my memory.
It's the best fucking line.
Oh, there's a couple of ones.
So like we said in the very first episode of the podcast, when you do the tutorial, instead of other characters teaching you how to play the game, it's framed as Cloud teaching them how to play the game.
Yeah.
And then you as the player are getting that knowledge, right? So the ghosts of the people you would have been speaking to are here because they were in Sector 7. Sector 7 was crushed and now they're ghosts. And the one on the bottom says, your explanations were so complicated I couldn't return to the planet.
Yep.
What? That's so good.
Yeah, and one of them, I think this is the one that I spoke to first. He says something like, let's review, but he says, let's revenge.
Yeah,
or
he goes,
something, and
let's
he's like,
revenge. I mean, review.
And I was like, that was fucking weird. And then I realized
Yeah.
they were ghosts, and I was like, oh my god, he wants to
Yeah.
get revenge on me for
Yeah.
killing him.
Yeah.
And he has every right
I don't
to.
know. So good.
It's kind of weird that they're hanging out with Shinra.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe because they have reactors there, they were able to get here from the live stream or something. So
I think, yeah, that
we
was.
haven't even heard of that term. Never mind. Forget that.
Yep. Forget we said that.
Forget we said that. Yeah. So that's really all that's in this building, right? Or is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, just lots of cats, lots of dogs.
Love it.
Lucky, my cat.
Yeah. So we get to like the halfway point of Junon, right?
Still hella
Like-
stores left, I feel like.
Oh, there are still hella stores. But like in between the 2 sections of street, there's like a little indoor section.
Yeah.
Right. And this is kind of like directly below the cannon. And this is the screen I was going to talk about that
Yep.
you can't do 3
Three
times
times.
speed on. And there's no FMVs or anything.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing. I wonder why.
I don't know.
But it's just like a long tunnel that you go to the end, and there's like a little sailor down there
Yeah.
who says, what is it? The elevator's out of order for an inspection. You know, right under us is the submarine dock and the underwater Mako reactor.
which are both highlighted.
Yeah.
So like I'm pretty sure we'll never have to go to the submarine dock
Yeah,
or
exactly.
underwater Mako
we don't
reactor.
even have to read that on the podcast.
Oh, I missed that one.
yeah, I mean, it's you can't really do anything.
Yeah, and it's kind of like off the beaten path a little bit.
Yeah, and
Like-
you just go to the next thing, and then you're in the next part of Upper Junon or
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
Yeah. So you walk to the next section.
Or no, then you go to Lower Junon. I don't know. The geometry here is kind of weird.
Yeah, right. To me, it's leftmost Junon. Yeah. Yeah, right. So let's see here. You go into the first building, which is like a little bar, and we see the Turks in it.
Yep.
And like, so not Reno though. We have Sang. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. So we have Sang. Reno's back. This is the first time we've seen Reno since we gave him those injuries.
Hell yeah. He's
Hell
got a
yeah.
new weapon, but we don't get to see it yet.
We don't get to see it here. And
Unless
Elena.
it's the cannon. Maybe it's the cannon.
Ooh. But Elena's also here. And Elena says, just when I think this job is boring, you guys start messing around. And Sang just tells you to stay out of this.
Yeah, Sang, and it was weird because I couldn't like get to Sang to like talk to him. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I bet he says something good. And then he's just like, stay out of this. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man. The bartender, I think, has the best dialogue here.
Hey, G.I. Joe, aren't you still on duty?
Yeah,
So good.
really good.
That's really all that's in here, huh?
I think so. Yeah.
Hermione called him Soldier Boy, which is also trademarked.
He called you Soldier Boy.
Super.
I'm actually playing on Soldier Boy's gaming console.
Oh yeah,
You guys know about that?
yeah, I heard about it. What's it
Curtis?
called?
I don't think
I don't remember what it was called, but Soldier Boy.
Oh right, he like tried to bootleg. Or...
He basically like I guess partnered with some like Chinese bootleg company and got a bootleg system and then started marketing them and like maybe like slapped his logo or something on them,
Yeah.
but maybe didn't, just maybe sold them straight up and just like was the middleman for no reason. And like he was so cocky about it. He was like tweeting like at Nintendo being like, yo, if Nintendo wanted to do something, they would have done something already. I already made $3 million off of this. Like, I'm just a kid with a dream. And then like the next day he got fucking like insane copyright strikes.
Oh
and,
my
like,
gosh,
that was a wild time.
that's incredible.
Soldier Boy, come on our podcast.
Well, I just think it's funny they changed it from Soldier Boy to G.I. Joe because G.I. Joe has more copyright than
Yeah.
Soldier Boy.
So the next place we can go into is an inn. And I like the innkeeper's dialogue. It's just nap while on duty? Question mark. I love that.
Are you sure it's all right?
And like, I could imagine that being the innkeeper's dialogue, or just the game asking you like nap while on duty. Yes or no. And then
I like to think you were playing it while at work.
yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah, I do quite often. So this building actually has 3 floors to it too.
yeah.
And the second floor is a wild time. So and like the floors are connected by like one directional stairs. Like the stairs just continue up, and you can just get off the stairs at some point.
Yeah.
Like they don't like loop back around on each other, right? So you get the feeling that the rooms are like not directly over top of each other. They're kind of diagonal from each other.
Yeah, exactly. It's on like the slope sort of thing that like everything in Junon kind of looks like it was on a slope. So
Right.
that might
Oh.
make sense as to why.
Yeah.
And
so,
this is like the Hooters of materia shops.
yeah. So this is a little shop, and as soon as you walk by, this girl goes, "Oh, please come in." And there's some other girls standing in the doorway, and they're just like, "Oh, buy a lot, cutie. There's no charge for a smile."
Yeah.
And you talk to the guy at the counter, and he's like, "Look, I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of having all these girls doing this, but like that's all I can do to compete. Like that's what I have to do. The only thing I don't like about it is that they make more money than I do. Like
Yeah.
the girls make more money than I do.
I love that the girls make more money than
I know.
especially because I feel like he sells shit materia that you don't need.
right.
So Junon has cats, dogs, and the gender wage gap has been fixed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I know. All of a sudden, oh my gosh. Oh God, we're coming around on Shinra. This podcast is canceled.
I don't know, maybe Rufus ain't all that bad.
Yeah.
Maybe we're the bad guy. Are we,
Yeah, like
are
very
we
like
the baddies?
very progressive like gender like rules, but
Rufus is actually just the dean from that episode of The Simpsons where
yeah,
Homer hates him for
stuffy
no
old dean.
reason. But he's the fucking
He's
best.
the coolest.
So,
yeah, I
he's
used
like,
to play
yeah,
bass in the Pretenders for years.
if anyone's having a tough day, just come by my office and we'll jam.
yeah, I know. So
oh
good.
my god.
So you go up to the 3rd floor, and there's an old man standing there who used to be in Soldier. He
Yep.
tells you, and he says after he was out, he opened up this shop, and then in true dirty old man fashion, he goes, "But to tell you the truth, I'd rather be at that shop downstairs."
Big Master
So-
Roshi energy.
Big Master Roshi energy. Is that that's not the top floor though, right? There's
I
one
think
more?
no, I think it is the top.
Oh, okay. There's just another building that I have on my next picture then.
Yeah.
Maybe he just wants to be a greeter.
He does.
You don't know.
He
Oh yeah, maybe he's not trying. He wants to be the
could
yeah.
be.
Hey there, Sonny.
Hey there, Sonny. No charge for a smile.
Or maybe he means the. Does he say downstairs?
Yeah, he goes, "I wish I was at that shop downstairs."
Yeah. Or maybe he means the inn. He just wants to take a nap while on duty.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
big mood.
He does sell some good stuff, which I did not have enough money to buy. But he sells the silver glasses, which protects against darkness.
Yeah, they're
And
both
the
pretty
headband,
expensive.
the headband, which protects against sleep, which is good because I think coming up there's going to be a battle. Like I don't know, that's probably like a little bit of foreshadowing that the
Yeah.
game's doing, where there's enemies who can do both to you coming
Right,
up
right.
soon.
The game's pretty good about that, about
Yeah.
being like, "Hey, you've been seeing this, maybe you should consider it."
Yeah, exactly.
So the next building we go into has a soldier on a couch who just says, "Hey, aren't you still on duty? Don't become a bad worker like me." He's just like sitting there lounging on a couch.
You don't want none of this shit.
Yeah. And there's And when we go upstairs in this building, we see the Shinra manager again.
Yep.
From the first episode.
Oh, yeah. Was he the guy on the train?
He's the guy on the train.
Yeah.
He was on the train, and then he was in the Shinra building in the headquarters, and now he's here.
Yep.
And so it's the third time seeing him.
Yeah, and he's having a bad time.
I know.
He's in, so this is, I think, this building's called, like, the barracks, and he...
Yeah.
It looks like almost like a utility closet in the one thing, and then there's just like a curtain and like a bed, and he's in like this small little cubicle that just has like a bed in it with like a little like drawer next to it. So he says, "This is so embarrassing," and they told me I would be staying at 5-star hotels on these trips.
Yeah.
How can you guys sleep in a place like this?
Yeah.
And there's like a big hum going on, and I think there's actually like ventilation shafts and stuff like in the thing directly next to his room.
Yeah.
So I think that noise is just like the ventilation system going off that's like keeping him from sleeping.
Airbnb shit. He has like a gun rack above the bed.
I was going to say, there's like 2 assault rifles.
He doesn't even have a gun, let alone many guns, to necessitate an entire rack.
And you can get another
one
of
weapon.
35.
Yeah,
Oh,
little-
yeah.
Another little boy.
Yep.
Little vault boy.
And then I think lastly, there is another weapons shop. Right?
Yeah, and this has like weird geometry. There's like something underneath it.
It almost looks like they're looking over top of that model of Midgar.
Yeah, that's what my
what
mind
I
went to the
thought,
same exact place. So
Basically, it's like a room that like the edges of this room are a catwalk, and in the middle there's some glowing fixture.
Yeah,
and
like
it
below.
doesn't-
Is this the underground reactor that the guy was talking about, maybe?
No, not the underwater. No, because we'll actually go there later. But
It looks like a weird glowing thing with
It
like a few
almost-
bottles in the middle of it, like
Yeah.
they're keeping it warm. Or maybe it's a refrigerator. I don't know.
it
Yeah.
could be. It's hard to. Yeah, we couldn't.
that's
venture
just
to guess,
where the
but-
guy stashes his booze.
Yeah, but yeah, that's really. And he right now.
Very
he's-
cool poster on the wall that says,
Oh yeah, weapon accessory.
weapon accessory, and
Yeah.
it's got a skull and crossbones. Almost looks like a
sword.
One Piece sort of like
Yeah,
face, but it's got a sword going through the skull.
Yeah, it's super dope. We should get we should get that and then hang it up in here in this room.
Oh my God,
That'd
hell
be
yeah.
amazing. So that's all the different shops and stores. There's a bunch of them. We really
Another cool thing about that weapon shop is he has some pretty good weapons in there.
right now. I feel he
all
sells,
of which you like already have. Like there's
he sells the same ones that the other store does right now.
oh really?
They're the same ones.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So yeah, I put in my notes somewhere that like I was pretty excited when I got here because like everything that I could buy. I think like maybe there was a Yuffie item in the other one, but
Yeah.
pretty much everything is ones I already had through like stealing
Okay,
from
yeah,
enemies, and I
yeah.
was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but yeah, right now both of those weapon shops sell the same thing. That changes later.
Yeah.
Like eventually they'll be selling different stuff, but right now they do.
More stuff for throwing.
Yeah.
More stuff for throwing. I can't bring myself to do it. I can never throw
can't.
anything.
I
Can't
can't.
stash
I
up on the
can't.
weapons to throw.
Yeah. So that's all of Junon Street. Like that's all of the buildings and stuff we're going to be getting into.
Yeah.
We've now made it to the dock.
At some point, I think right before this, we didn't go into it, but like when getting to that screen for the first time, you kind of see the camera like panning down towards the docks where your like Shinra gang, like friends, not really friends, but the guys that you were with, are running down. And in the distance, you can see a couple of like soldiers and sailors running, and there's a big sailor that's running towards the dock, and also just Red 13 is just running towards the dock.
I wonder who that could be.
Yeah. It's really good. But so now we're on the dock, and the camera pans down, and you see your Shinra gang, and Cloud runs over like towards the camera, and they
Joins the line.
yeah, and they say that it's time, and Rufus has finally arrived.
Yep. So Rufus shows up, and we're
One
gonna
of them says 10 hut.
yeah, and so we're gonna start doing the little mini game that we learned about earlier. The little Simon Says, right?
Yeah.
And so, how did you do on it?
I did really well. I
too.
think I did. I don't think I missed anything. I think the only thing I did was like I was a little fast on some of them. Usually the turning one.
The turning is so slow.
Yeah.
Also, throughout this, Red is just watching from inside the boat
Yes.
the entire
Oh,
time.
it's so
you can see his
good,
face.
yeah.
Yep.
I also like that he has like one eye that's always kind of closed.
Yeah,
He's got
yeah.
a little
Red has
scar.
like
So,
yeah.
he's got that little
he
scar.
He might be one-eyed. I'm not sure because like when cats lose an eye, they
Yeah.
kind of do that. Like he may have only one eye. I'm
I
not
follow
sure.
a lot of one-eyed cats on Instagram.
me
They're
too.
very cute.
Me
and very
too.
sweet. Lucky has some eye. My cat Lucky has some eye problems, and
Really?
every now and then he'll just have one eye closed. Anytime I just
You're like,
anytime
oh,
I see
you, like,
any
wink at
cat with
him.
one eye, I just think of
Red.
Red 13.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, so we have so doing well in this game increases the president's mood gauge.
Yeah. Again,
you were talking earlier.
No real world analogy to soldiers showing off and showing their might to a president that's mood increases because of it.
Right, yeah.
What was your final score? Do you guys have what you got?
140.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was doing very poorly. I made it to about 30.
I think every item that you get here.
That gave me silver glasses.
Yeah, you still get good stuff.
Yeah, you get good stuff, and everything that you can get isn't like missable.
So we got the Force Stealer, right?
Yeah, we got the Force Stealer. The level below this, if you get, I think, like 80 or 90, or like above 80 but less than 100, I think you get an HP plus materia, which just increases your...
Which is dope.
Which is great. I found a hilarious thread on Game Facts about people like discussing what the better thing to do is, and someone's like, oh well, you can get the Force Stealer in the next town, so why would you get that? I would rather have the materia and start. And then other people are like, so the Force Stealer is a weapon
I have
for
to get
Cloud.
the Force Stealer because I'm a tryhard.
Yeah, exactly.
Well. Yeah.
You got to get the ultimate prize. But also the good thing about the Force Stealer is it has one less materia slot than like the Mithril Saber that Cloud has.
Yeah, is this the first time?
But yeah,
is this the first one.
The first item that you can get in the game that allows you to have double materia growth.
Yeah.
So I just put all of my all materias on there.
Really?
Because, like,
they're not linked, so yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't, like, I was just like, I need to get that AP. Like,
yeah.
This is like, we were officially in grind territory now, as far as I'm concerned.
And once you get, like I said, I think last episode, once you have one mastered all materia,
you
will not want for money for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's
like 12 billion gil or something like that.
It's insane. Yeah. But yeah, I think we discussed what the double growth means. If you get whatever you get for AP at the end of a battle, it just doubles that.
Goes into it, yeah. So Rufus and Heidegger have a little aside again, and Rufus says, once the word gets out that Sephiroth's here, Cloud and his friends will show up too.
Yeah. Oh, also, I mean, we kind of glossed over it, but
sorry, go ahead.
When you're done, Rufus has like a response to you, and he says like, "Oh, well done," and then like, keep up the good work for Shinra Inc.
Yeah, for Shinra Inc. Yeah.
And then Heidegger comes up and laughs and says, "Here's a special bonus for you, a token of the president's kindness. Don't forget it." And that's when he gives you your gift for your parade or your dancing.
Yeah.
The only difference being if it's okay, he says very entertaining, keep up the good work. And if you did poorly, looks like you need more practice. With things looking like this, you better be ready for pay cuts. Which is what I got.
Oh, man.
What does he give you?
He gave me silver glasses.
Oh, that's right.
See better.
Which would be shitty if you just bought those.
Yeah. But yeah, so he does mention to Heidegger, he's like, Cloud's getting ready to show up because we know Sephiroth's here, so be prepared for them. He says, we can't have them getting in our way. And Heidegger goes, leave it up to me, sir. Yeah. And he says, I thought I told you to stop that stupid horse laugh. So he just has a stupid laugh right there.
The horse was implied.
It
was a silent horse.
Yeah.
And he starts laughing again. But stops himself again.
And then we get... So Heidegger...
He also does the thing where he stops himself from laughing and then runs up and starts punching people again, I think.
Yeah, right. And so Rufus and Heidegger board the boat, right?
Yeah.
And we get a interesting and important piece of information here.
Yeah.
One of the soldiers turns to you and says, Heidegger's been really edgy lately because Hojo disappeared, leaving a letter of resignation. So Hojo has quit Shinra now.
Yeah.
So he's also like,
and
kind of like everybody else in this game, like everybody's independent actors. There's us, there's the Turks, there's Shinra, and now Hojo's out there doing something by himself as well. Mm-hmm. Like everybody's chasing Sephiroth, trying.
What madness could he be doing right now at this very moment?
We'll find out next episode.
What horrible things could he be doing out there?
I know.
But yeah,
I wish we were doing it this episode so we could just turn around and say it. But yeah.
Well, tune in next time.
To find out Hojo's evil machinations.
I don't know what's happening.
Will Goku be able to go Super Saiyan before
Alex doesn't know. He hasn't seen it yet.
I don't know. I've only played as much as
Hojo's up to some evil, disgusting shit.
It's very fucked up.
Well, I think you should just join Avalanche.
Yeah, but
as new Jesse. Sorry.
Too soon.
So Heidegger was forced to take over the investigation of what's going on with where Hojo is. So that's why he's like so on edge and punching people. Right. Either that or he's just a dick and he would do that anyway. That's kind of what I think he would be doing. But
Yeah.
And then like as he's doing that, like the captain dismissed you before all of that stuff was discussed, and then he says, "Hey, I thought you were dismissed," and everyone runs away.
Yeah.
And one of the soldiers does a little hop and jumps into the dock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the one who said 10 hut.
Yeah.
That was standing by the door does a hop animation.
Like into the water?
No, like into
Oh.
the dock area that we're going like into
into
the
the
boat.
boat. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
into the cargo ship.
I thought you meant he was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he just jumps in the water, and I was
No,
like,
but tune in next time when some
there's gonna
people
be some
get.
fucking hilarious shit next time.
So the captain says, "We got cleaning up to do. Hurry up!" And then he runs off.
I have heard that you can talk to Red here, but I tried and couldn't get it to happen.
Oh, really? I didn't talk to
Yeah.
him.
So I read that you could, but I couldn't get it.
Do you
to
want me to
happen.
Skype in my uncle who works at Final Fantasy?
Al Fantasy?
my uncle Al. Weird Al Fantasy.
Weird Owl Fantasy.
God damn! I wish Weird Al was my uncle.
Please
Yo,
don't.
I saw
Weird
Weird Al
Al.
live.
Dude, me too, and it was so good.
Somebody else invited me to do it, and because I was like, "Oh yeah, I know who Weird Al is," or whatever. I went like, it wasn't like a thing I listened to regularly or anything. But my friend was like, "Oh, I got tickets. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "I'll go see Weird Al." It was one of the best shows I've ever been to.
Bar none.
Incredible.
They
Like-
played clips from UHF, which is a great
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
that
they
if you
did, yeah.
haven't seen it, you need to. I almost made like 3 UHF references in this episode, but stopped myself. I was like,
Yeah,
I've already
yeah.
derailed too much.
The one I saw was like it was like that tour where he's doing like the fake military propaganda stuff.
I think that might have been the one that I saw.
Yeah, maybe it was like stop having fun. I don't know.
I forget, but that was like several years ago.
mandatory fun. I
Yes.
think. Yeah. So super good. Though.
I have a picture from that. It's a very shitty cell phone picture, but afterwards there was a bunch of people getting pictures with like the stormtroopers that he had for the a news. I forget the name of the song, the Star Wars song that he has, like the Saga Begins, I think it's called, where it's like American Pie.
Yeah, that's right.
But
this here
he
guy.
had what's it called? Stormtroopers from Star Wars as like people on stage.
Yeah.
So I got a picture where I took my buddy's bandana, I tied it around, I took one of his cigarettes, I tied it around my eyes and like was like, "Hey, take a picture of this." And I like kneeled down in front of them and put the cigarette in my mouth and put my hands together. I was like, "Yeah, can you guys just act like I'm in a firing squad?" So they did that. It was very
That's
cool.
amazing.
That was
That's
at a
so
fucking
good.
Weird Al concert.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we get on the
Weird
boat.
Al, come on our podcast and be my uncle.
Yeah.
That's my Weird Al fantasy.
So good. So we get on the boat. Cloud says, "We'll cross the ocean to the new continent." And he says new continent like, like...
It's like Christopher Columbus.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
like Christopher Columbus, like there's not already people living there. But B, like there isn't literally Shinra ran cities there.
Yeah.
Like, I guess maybe Cloud's never been there. No, he has. He's from that continent. It's not a new
Yeah.
continent. He's going home.
Yeah, what the fuck?
How is that the new continent?
God damn it. Yeah. To the new continent. And then he says, ... even if we are wearing Shinra's uniform.
Which I don't know why that's that important.
Yeah,
but-
there's a lot of like drama in this because the screen goes black and it's in that like white text
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
different and stuff. And it's like, what the fuck are you trying to
Yeah,
say, dude?
I
This
know.
is-
This is not that important.
like you're in the boat for all like because like later when you can traverse in the world map and stuff, it takes like not even a couple of seconds to go through.
Yeah, yeah.
And like the events of this part are a little long, but it still doesn't take that long.
Right.
So it's like it's not that grand of a thing,
Yeah.
especially because you're like.
right. No, I agree with you.
So then there's just a little like it's on the world map again, and you see the
Oh,
ship.
that's right. Yeah,
and it
you're
starts sailing away from Junon and the giant cannon, and it follows along with the ship. Like you don't have any control or anything, and then it starts zooming in on the ship.
Yeah. So now we're inside the ship, right?
Yes.
That's where the scene
Yeah.
picks up.
And then the song changes to "It's hard to stand on two legs,"
Which I got a screenshot of the words that will come up later.
the second
yeah.
titular name drop of a song. That's
Yeah. This episode, I guess. We do
yeah.
it all
This
the time.
episode, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how often they do. I feel like I would have called it out before, but I've mentioned this just because this song always stuck out in my mind, and it didn't dawn on me until recently why it's called that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Well,
so
when you
we're in the
first said it,
cargo
like
bay.
I remember you signal messaged me that name or something at some point, and I was like, Oh, yeah, like the thing that they say. Oh, you mean the song?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know the song was called that. Yeah, so we get on and we see a bunch of seamen.
Oh yeah.
There you go. There's
There it
our
is.
second jizz joke of the podcast. We did it, people. We made it.
A bunch of sailors.
Hit the victory music. Second jizz joke in the episode.
We got to get a jizz counter on the
on the website.
on the website.
So
This song sounds very Grant Kirkhope-y. A little like
It
kinda
does.
Oh yeah, no,
Banjo-Kazooie.
I hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little
yeah.
banjo kazooie.
easy, yeah. So so there's a bunch of seamen running.
Yeah.
seamen
So
running
like
around.
the
Sea folk.
the area
Sea
that we're
folk.
in, sea folk. We're in like the bottom of the ship. There's a bunch of crates and everything. There's
I believe they would say we're in the hold.
the hold,
Hold?
the hold, not the hull.
Not the
Is the hull a thing? I don't
The
know.
hull's the outside of the ship.
Cargo hold.
Yes.
Cargo hold.
It's where they hold the cargo.
My car hole.
We're
We're in the garage of the ship.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
La di da, Mr. Frenchman.
The belly of the beast.
But there's a chest there that you can get that I think has an ether in it. Does that sound right? But there's
sweet.
also
It's got some dumb bullshit in it.
yeah. There's a sailor.
More things for me to sell.
There's a sailor like leaning over one of the crates, and behind
Yes.
him is a blue materia that you can't get to.
You can't use it right now.
So you go up and talk to that soldier.
And it's Yuffie.
Yep.
and she is sick. So she gets motion sick, right?
Yeah.
So again, like
So
like
this
you were
is why
saying
I
earlier.
hate boats.
Yeah, and you were saying earlier that like when the music was going on, she got a migraine, and now that we're
Yeah.
on a boat, she's sick. And this will be a recurring gag as the game goes on, that anytime something's moving, Yuffie gets sick. You
Yeah.
know? And so she's like, "Oh God, I can't deal with this." And she asks you if you have a tranquilizer, which is an item that you have, right?
Yeah.
And if you give it to her, she goes, "Oh, thanks. Gross. This is bitter."
I love that it's bitter.
Yeah, yeah. And she asks where the others are, and we don't know yet. And someone says, I don't know if it's Cloud supposed to be saying this or if it's Yuffie, but someone says, I don't know. Aren't they hiding around somewhere?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So is Yuffie not here, like, assuming if you didn't get her earlier? Which
Yeah,
means you
yeah.
could technically get that
Yeah,
material.
Yeah, I was wondering
That's-
about that.
yeah, that's
you
true.
can probably get that earlier.
That's the thing, is like Yuffie really, every scene with Yuffie can just not be there. She's entirely optional.
Yeah.
All of it is, you know.
Which is funny too, because this, like, it's not just a throwaway interaction. Like, there's this with like giving her the tranquilizer and stuff, and like,
Yeah.
more than just being like,
that's what the
"Oh,
wild
we're
thing
on
about
the
it
boat."
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the next person we talk to is Eris.
Well,
And-
there's also like a little sailor that's just kind of.
I
running
talked to
around.
him first. Yeah.
And he says, "I'm working hard already, and you still want me to do more." The new president's probably the same. He's just going to order us around anyway.
Yeah.
And then,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, I like those salty, the salty sailor.
the salty seaman.
Welcome to the salty spittoon. How
Welcome-
tough are you?
Yeah, and then there's another soldier in the same uniform as you. I almost called it a costume.
We should do a meme on the Twitter. It's like, "Welcome to the salty spittoon. How tough are you?" And you're like, "I learned the enemy skill beta my first time through the swamp." Oh, well, right this way, sir. But yeah. So you do see somebody in a Shinra outfit, and it's Eris.
Yeah, she says, "It's me, Aerith," and then there's some really cute dialogue between the two of Aerith and Cloud, if you choose to make it cute.
Right.
But
And
she-
she
yeah.
asks you if you saw the giant airship back at Junon. And Cloud says, "I heard it was big, but didn't expect it to be that big."
Yeah.
Seaman.
And then she says that was really something, and she says, "Hey, do you think I can get on it?" And you can say, "I'll take you someday," or "I dunno."
Right. And so I said, "I'll take you someday because I'm not a monster."
So did I.
And I like that the option, "I'll take you someday," sounds very positive. Like, "I'll take you someday."
Yeah.
And the actual dialogue that Cloud then
Not
says
good.
is, "Keep hoping."
Yeah.
What?
Which is weird, but her reaction to it is
As
if-
though, yeah.
It's so weird. So I guess he's like, "Keep hoping," but I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't
Ye-
get.
I don't
I don't
know.
think there's any way to spin it. Maybe that's a mistranslation. Or
Yeah.
something.
Keep hoping.
Yeah.
But she
But-
says, "Wow, I'm really looking forward to it."
Yeah.
Very cute.
Let's ride the airship together, okay? Promise me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Promise me.
And I like, before we go up to the deck, there's a guy running down the stairs.
Yeah.
And I love his dialogue because I think I'm just going to start saying this when I'm at work. If anybody tries to talk to me, I'm just going to stop and say, "It won't do any good to try to stop me." And then run by them.
Yeah. And then I think he also says like, I'm going to show the new president what I'm made of.
Yeah. So I love that.
Yeah, and then there's a guy blocking a door, and he says, "Hey, get to work."
That's important. Yeah,
yeah.
I missed it.
Both the new president Rufus and Heidegger are aboard this ship.
Right, and right now the only two places we could go are behind that guy, which we can't right now because he's blocking it, or up the stairs.
And he also says, if we do good, we could get promoted, which is important a little later.
Ooh.
So then, we go up onto the deck of the ship.
Yeah, and there's some sailors and some soldiers walking around. So the first one I talked to was the one who's up on the smaller deck, almost like a little lookout or something, or a little maintenance deck.
Yeah,
it's a little bit higher up than the deck itself. Mm-hmm. And it's a Shinra soldier who says, "Yes, sir. Everything's quiet, sir." And then you realize it's Tifa because Tifa has it, like the name is above the dialogue.
Yeah,
and she says, "But you know what? I really hate this uniform. In uniforms, soldiers, war. I hate them all."
Yeah.
And yeah, she says they take away all the things and all the people that you love. So
yeah, and then I think it gives you an option. She's like, "Don't you agree, Cloud?" And you can say like,
"I said yes."
No. Yeah, I said yeah, and she's like,
"You're right."
Yeah, she says you're right.
Yeah,
it's probably into that like affection counter thing.
Yeah.
That we were talking about.
And then I love her. The last thing that she says is like, "Yes, sir. I'll continue my watch, sir. He he."
Yeah,
like I love that.
He. And it's
like she's
funny.
having like a good time doing it.
I don't know how true it is, but I think she's the one who says 10 hut. Because that's a very lame thing to say. And it's like, oh, 10 hut. And then that soldier who said that jumps comically, like we've seen Tifa jump
do before,
and then runs into the ship. So I think she's the one who, like, I think the whole time she was like, just such a badass that she's like, even if I fucking get caught, I'm just going to punch the shit out of everyone.
Yeah,
so it doesn't.
That makes sense.
So she's
that
like,
could be.
she's stealing valor and she's like laughing about it, which kicks ass.
I love it. Yeah.
When she says uniform soldiers war, I hate them all. I wish they'd all disappear. If you say I don't know, she says, "Cloud, wearing these clothes seems to have changed you a little. Does it remind you of being a soldier? I hope not."
Oh wow, that's
great
dialogue.
I was wondering if that was how it would go, and then I didn't research it.
So
I'm bad at my job.
There's a soldier walking around on the deck who has dialogue that I fucking love. Who isn't
so
one
good.
of our party members, but he just says, "Hey, what's wrong, kid? You got no pep. A seaman's gotta have oomph."
A seaman's gotta have oomph.
I love that.
And you can say, "I'm tired, something's missing, or leave me alone."
And "I'm tired" is like an in, essentially. He gives you like a drink, or he sells you one.
Yeah, he sells you the
invisible alpha.
The invisible alpha. It turns you into an alpha male.
Yeah.
Cloud is a beta because he learned beta from beating the Zolom, and now he's an alpha. Those things that totally exist and that cool people on the internet put stake in.
Don't use both at the same time. It's like taking NyQuil and DayQuil at the same time. Not recommended.
Something's missing makes him into an item shop.
Yeah, he just sells a Phoenix down in like a potion.
Yeah, so much. But
yeah, seaman's gotta have oomph.
Seaman's gotta have oomph. Like I've said that forever. You know, I've always said that.
I saw that and I was like, this is going to be a very mature discussion about seamen and oomph.
And then there's another soldier who's looking out before there's a ladder.
Yeah, I like the one who he says,
"Oh, the invisible Rufus, alpha." Do we say that it restores all of your?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure.
Oh, we didn't say it, but
it restores your HP and MP.
Yeah. One of them. Yeah. One of them says, "President Rufus and his men are on the bridge of the ship. If they see you slacking, they'll bust you one." Like they'll bust their seamen. Okay, and then the most important thing, there is a soldier
you climb a ladder, and you climb 2 ladders up.
Yeah, you climb a ladder and you're on top of the bridge now, and there's a soldier like doing a little dance,
a little shuffle,
just shuffling around, like looking real goofy. And if you talk to him, it just says, "It's me, Red 13. I'm a little woozy, but I shouldn't get caught. Humans only look at appearances anyway." Or he says, "Any way you look at it, I'd say I make a fine human being."
So good.
And then the name of the song, "It's pretty hard standing on 2 feet."
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that he's just like, and you see his tail.
Yeah. After he talks, you can see his tail poking out. And he's doing this ridiculous little shuffle.
Yeah, he's trying to stand on 2 feet.
It's very, very cute.
And he's in like a Shinra uniform. It's so good.
I like how he didn't just like post up and like make it look like he was sitting or something. He's just like, "No, I'm going to try to walk."
I know. Dude, Red is so good.
I like
man.
how everyone's kind of having fun with it a little bit.
I know everybody's doing. So we don't see Barrett.
Yeah,
That's an
there's
important part.
there's also a save point here, but
Right.
You try to go to the screen to
If
the
you-
left, but
It's
there's a guy in the
blocked.
way.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just saying, "Hey, we're almost at Costa del
So
Sol."
I went down.
he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go on vacation and
Yeah.
get a nice tan."
So the thing you have to do is you have to go back into the hold and talk to Eris again. And she says, "Hey, Cloud, did you see Barrett? I hope he's not doing anything stupid." And then you're allowed to go past that soldier near where Red is and go to the front of the ship.
Yeah. Did you talk to the other guy after that?
I didn't.
Oh, it's very good.
What happened?
He says, "Geez, what chance for a promotion? The only one who's gonna benefit from this is the chief anyway. It has nothing to do with us workers.
Ooh.
So we need to radicalize this dude for
That's
some
right.
mutiny."
I think
and-
Shinra needs to unionize.
Yeah, I went into my inventory and gave him the item, The Conquest of Bread by Peter Kropotkin. I went up to him and I whispered to him, "Google Maury Bookchin."
yeah, Mary Fiction, yeah. Oh, God.
Murray Bookchan.
The first thing you need to do is get really mad, so you need to read some David Graeber. Anyway, so Barrett's up front, and like Rufus and Heidegger are in the bridge, right? Like they're in the
Yeah.
and
You can go past that soldier now.
yeah, and it's surrounded by glass, like it's all windows, so you can
Yeah.
see them in there.
Barrett's
Peeking through it. He's got his hands up on it, and like just his eyes are like peeking over it. Like, and we're standing to his back, so we see his back, right?
Also, he's in an adorable sailor suit.
He is in an adorable sailor costume, which we'll talk about next time too.
It's like a Pillsbury Doughboy.
yeah, it's like and
Specifically, it's like a bear wearing a marshmallow.
Yeah.
But we'll
We'll get on that later.
It's important to note that aside from like Red 13 having like slight differences, everyone is just like looked like the regular models of everything else. Like Yuffie just looked like a sailor.
Yeah.
Aerith and Tifa looked like soldiers. You look
Yeah.
like a soldier. Barrett just looks like him wearing
because he's so big.
Yeah.
He's like so huge that like he's a huge dude wearing it, and I love that.
Even the dog was better at wearing an outfit than
Yeah,
he was.
I know. Because yeah, like almost everybody's like similar height and like similar build, and Barrett is just like a monster. He's like
Yeah.
huge, you know. So like yeah, he's like busting out of this thing, man. But he's in like a sailor uniform. It's very cute.
Yeah.
And Barrett goes, "Look, Cloud, it's Rufus and Heidegger. They're this close, but we can't do a thing to them." And he says, a gum."
Gum.
He said, "How can he be going off laughing like that?" I guess he's talking to Heidegger.
Yeah, it's good because like Rufus is just kind of standing there like with his hands behind his back looking, and Heidegger is like pacing back and forth,
Yeah.
and also every couple of seconds his like laugh animation will play.
Yeah, and so Barrett's just like, "How can he be laughing like that?" And it says, "Because of him, Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse." And then he says, "Grrr," like
Yeah,
just G's and
freaks,
H's.
yeah, he freaks out. He like runs forward and he says, "God, I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna settle things here and now." And he's about to like start some shit.
He's
and then
like right on the cusp of
Yeah.
starting shit. He's about to start.
he's about
firing.
to like just like start shooting.
Busted.
Right. Yeah. Bustin' makes me feel good. Seamen.
Seaman makes me feel good.
Sorry. Continue.
But yeah, and then right as he's about to start some shit, there's an alert that's going off, and it says,
Right.
"Emergency alert! Reports of a stowaway found. Those not on detail, search the ship. Report when found." And there's like an alarm sounding.
Right.
And I think the music is also stopping here.
Yeah. And so so it could be like one of us, right? Like somebody's
Yeah.
been found out. Like,
So
oh, no,
so Barrett says,
stowaway
"Damn,
found."
did they find us?"
Yeah, right.
And he says, "I don't think it's us. Did they find Tifa and the others?" And I think when this happens, Rufus and Heidegger also run away.
They do too, yeah. And Barrett says, "Get off your spiky butt and let's go,
I
Cloud."
love that. I
And-
love spiky butt.
I know. And so you walk back to the deck, like the deck proper, I guess, where we saw Tifa and everybody earlier. And everyone's there. Like all of our characters are there, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, stowaway found," but we're all safe. And it's all of the party and the one guy who sold us the invisible alpha standing there too.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Oh, are you all right? Are you all right?" They're all making sure that they're there. And someone, it doesn't say who, but someone says, "Hey, you don't think that suspicious stowaway is Sephiroth?"
Mm-hmm.
And Barrett immediately just, "How the hell am I supposed to know?"
Yeah, and Tifa goes, "Really?"
Yeah. So, yeah, each of them say something, and I kind of just glaze over. Because, like, each of your party members are kind of saying, like, "Oh, gosh,
Yeah, it's
is
just
that who it is?"
incidental dialogue.
Right. I like that Yuffie says she doesn't want to be in your party for this. She goes, I don't even like Sephiroth.
Yeah. Which I put her in my party instantly.
I did too.
That.
I absolutely did.
I love that guy is just there being part of this conversation.
I know.
It reminded me of Mean Girls. Like, that guy doesn't even go to this school.
It doesn't even go here.
Yeah, so I think
I put Yuffie and Barrett in, and then I talked to Red, and I love his dialogue.
His
if he's
dialogue's
not in your
really
party.
good.
He says these clothes are too tight. Can I switch with you? And he like wants to go with us because he don't want to wear the clothes.
Yeah. Did you see the dialogue of the guy who sells the drink?
No.
He says, "Say, who are you?" Like, because at this point, your party members are out of their costumes.
Yeah.
And he says, "Say, who are you? You're not part of the crew." Oh well, seamen never bother with the details.
How you feeling?
He's a super good employee.
Yeah, right.
None of my business.
He's already been radicalized. He doesn't care about the
Yeah, right. So we go down back into the hold, and the soldiers there are dead or dying.
They have text boxes. It seems
Yeah,
like
I think it's just ... but I think that's to imply
knocked
that
out
they're dead.
Yeah.
I assume
think
that just means like they're not like there's
that happens enough in JRPGs that I do feel like ... when you talk to a person laid out means that person's dead.
Yeah, I think especially just
maybe
given,
not always.
especially because the song has changed to Trail of Blood, which is the same one that played in the Shinra building after
all the Shinra
with
boys were
like
killed.
all the blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I assumed that they were dead, and the one guy, although the one guy does say,
Yeah,
no,
there's one guy
no
who's
way
like
that's
heavy breathing and like in between his breaths are saying this. Yeah.
Yeah, he says the engine room, a suspicious character. No, there's no way that not a human. That thing's not a human.
Yeah.
And then you can go back and get the materia.
Yeah,
It's an all materia.
So there's battles right here.
Yeah.
That you can get into. You can fight some Marines.
Yeah, and they have a move that can cast darkness
Put you to
and sleep on you.
That's
And
why I
then
think they're all asleep. That's all I'm saying.
there's an enemy.
What's that?
That's why I'm saying all the guys are asleep.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And then there's an enemy called the Scrutin Eye.
Yeah.
And I was like, the Scrutinize. Very nice.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, when I talk about them, I'm going to call them the Scrutinize.
That one went over my head when I was playing.
Yo,
That's a
they pump damage.
Yeah, they're tough.
What? They do so much HP. Like, they die quick.
Yeah.
But, like, whoa, I was going, like, limit breaks constantly. I was just like, what is going on?
I was
like,
glad because I wanted to go into the fight that we're about to have with limit breaks, and I was
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, I was able to
like
not
this-
even intentionally. I was just like,
Yeah.
oh wait, this works.
Well,
Because,
so what happened was Cloud and Barrett limit broke.
Yeah.
Yuffie was getting close, and then they fell asleep, so I just finished it with Yuffie, and I was like, nice. Now I
Yeah.
have 2 limit breaks to go into this fight with.
nice. So I think I had farmed up. My final party after all the dialogue and everything was Tifa, Aerith, and Cloud.
Okay.
And I had Cloud and Tifa with limit breaks, and then Aerith didn't have it. And like just going through and trying to there's like a chest above, like on a catwalk.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to go there, and I kept having to fight in Scrutin and I ended up getting Aerith's. limit break
Okay,
as
yeah,
well.
nice. So before we go fight we go into the room that we were blocked off from before, which is the engine room. It is the engine room, right? It looks
Yeah,
like
we're in the
room.
engine room.
And before we even go up to where we're supposed to go, we can actually walk on these little catwalks and get a weapon for Yuffie, the wind
The
slash.
wind slash.
So I went ahead and equipped that and everything.
Nice.
And there's
There's a captain.
a captain standing in front of the control panel for the engine room,
Mm-hmm.
and Cloud walks up to the guard and says, "Is it Sephiroth?"
And he's facing away from you.
Right, and he turns around towards you, and then just falls to his knees and
then-
like dies.
Yep, falls to his knees, falls over all the way, and then disappears slowly.
Yeah, right. And Cloud goes, "No, not Sephiroth." But then,
And then everyone starts looking around.
yeah, and then like a disembodied voice
Yeah.
starts talking and says, "After a long sleep, the time has come." And I had
then-
Yuffie. She goes, "Oh, over there."
Yeah, and Tifa says, "Cloud, look."
Yeah.
And then from the floor, Sephiroth just like materializes
It's
in.
our first encounter.
Yeah. That's
IRL.
first one without it being a flashback.
Right, yeah.
So he materializes through the ground, which is crazy.
yeah.
He floats a little above the ground and then like kind of lands on it.
Yep. And
Kind of psychomantasy.
I think an important, like a plot important dialogue that is going to, comes up here where Cloud says, "Sephiroth, you're alive." And Sephiroth just hesitates for a second and says, "Who are you?"
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "You don't remember me? I'm Cloud." And he just kind of like says the name Cloud to himself like Sephiroth does to try
Yeah.
to jog his memory. And Cloud goes, Sephiroth, what are you thinking? What are you doing? And Sephiroth doesn't even
respond at all.
He just says,
it's very much
the
like
time is now.
It's very much like the mansion where Cloud is talking to him and he's just continuing.
Right.
And he says, the time is now, and just starts floating, flies through Cloud, and it makes like a little like noise, like a little like and the screen flashes green.
Right.
And then he flies up towards the camera, and there's more of those noises and green flashes, and it instantly kicks you into a battle.
Yep.
And the song changes to the Genova song that I think we heard.
Which is so good.
Have
we heard it before?
I think we did during the Shinra fight with Junon.
Yeah.
No, this is the first
first
instance.
time. Yeah, this is.
Holy shit!
And
Yeah,
song bangs.
this is like one of the best songs.
I know.
On the soundtrack.
This song bangs to the point where I've heard people say like, if you're doing a Final Fantasy VII cover, don't do that one. That's the one that everybody does.
It's the Wily 2 of.
It's the Wily 2 of So it's just real good. So this thing is a.
Love those arpeggios.
Yeah, so good. This thing is like a Cronenberg like body horror creepy thing.
It
right?
looks like a fucking angel from Evangelion.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, it's very
like Lovecraftian.
It's got like a big tentacle arm and these two like wings. Like one is just a big fleshy, gross,
almost like tree branch
protrusion. Yeah, the other one almost looks like a tree branch or a human hand almost.
Yeah,
it reminded me a little bit of the Terminator in Terminator 2 when he gets blasted in like
It does.
Yeah,
when he's shot apart.
Almost like splayed open in a weird way.
Yeah,
really
and
gross.
it has like a really small face for its like mass,
and it's towering.
Big.
Like
it is towering.
It's towering over.
And it's called Genova Birth.
Birth in all caps.
Yeah, Birth is in all caps. Yeah. Which is going to be a thing that we're going to see a couple times as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough fight too.
You know, I
cheated.
When I fought it, it didn't really. It attacked a lot because it can attack multiple times in a turn.
Yeah,
but it didn't really put out the damage when I fought it.
Yeah, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It just kind of can do a lot of damage in a row.
And if it decides to do it to the same person over and over,
or if you have cover and one of your people just keeps covering,
that's true.
I think it can. So you got to be careful to make sure you're managing your HP here. But,
you definitely need to do that.
It's got like 4,000 HP. So and
I'm doing like when I was attacking it, I was doing about 100 each turn around in that area. I accidentally started with atomic scissors and had Barrett in the back row, and I was like, "Oops, let me change that real quick." Yeah. It's a good fight though. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. I think this might be the introduction to it. We may have already seen it once before. I'm not sure. But the use of the letter W to mean 2 in this game for some reason. Yeah,
we might have seen it before. It becomes more like apparent later when we get things that we can do that have like the W
in them. Like, so it has an attack just called Laser that we can get as an enemy skill.
Oh shit, really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I didn't have that equipped.
It's all right. You can get it other places, I think. But
I got beta. It's fine.
Yeah, there's only so many that you can't get. I think like Trine is one, and Pandora's Box. I think other than that, you can pretty much get whenever.
Cool.
But it does an attack called Laser that'll hit a single. I was gonna say a single opponent. Its opponent, so one of us. It'll hit a single party member for damage. But it also does W Laser, which is just 2 lasers.
Yeah.
And like over and over throughout the course of this game, we'll see W something, which is just whatever it is twice. So it's just an interesting thing about this game.
Yeah.
It also does Tail Laser, which will hit all of the party members at once. And like I was saying, it doesn't really put out a crap ton of damage or anything, but it can attack multiple times in a row. If it attacks the same person or if you're covering, it can really take them down quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's
Bio
not
doesn't do anything to it.
Yeah.
Which is the only skill I had on Barrett.
Oh, no.
So I was just like, well, I guess Barrett's just going to do 80 damage a move, I guess.
At least you didn't elemental that to his like attack.
Oh,
with
yeah,
no,
God.
no other magic.
I'd be throwing those grenades.
Yeah, I kind of just went in and just was like rattling off limit breaks. And
I
I also used the Shiva summon.
Oh, I should have done that.
So she uses Diamond Dust. She's just... I think it's more or less the same thing that happens in Final Fantasy VIII. I think it's just this like woman. She's in like a bikini.
Well, we haven't seen Final Fantasy VIII yet, Carl.
Right.
It's 1997.
I know.
It hasn't come out yet.
I'm just making.
I don't know what you're
making the
talking
case, so I don't have to because I'm gonna just make it again in like a year and a half.
Yeah, you'd be like, this one's kind of like 7.
Alex is gonna play the harp music and just
yeah,
have it,
yeah,
this
a
exact
flashback
moment,
of this episode,
and then you'll look foolish, Curtis.
Oh no.
So I think W is because it's pronounced W.
Double U.
So I think this is used as shorthand for double in Japan
Oh,
sometimes.
that makes sense.
Interesting.
Okay.
But
Wow.
I was looking up abbreviated contract words. Like the WW burger from Freshest Burger has double beef and double cheese. So it's two
Okay.
doubles.
Right.
It's a
Interesting.
double.
That makes sense then. Interesting.
Just curious.
I feel like we pulled something together.
Oh yeah.
So you beat Genova Birth. Not too bad. You
I
get-
had a pretty awesome way of ending it too.
Ooh, tell me.
I think Genova can also cast stop,
Yes.
which will just stop your character for like a certain amount of time.
Yep.
So that was cast on Tifa, and I was just like going at her with Cloud and Aerith, and
Yeah.
then Tifa didn't have a limit break,
I was gonna say I already had like. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
but was getting hit and got a limit break, was still stopped, and then like got out of being stopped, had 52 damage left. I was about to like cure with Aerith,
Yeah.
and was able to just deliver the last two hits with Tifa's limit
That's
break.
awesome. So I know
to
that
take
we're
her down.
like we're running pretty long on this episode because it's been like a really
Oh, shit, yeah.
a packed episode or whatever. But real quick, since we're at the end of it, can we real quick talk about Tifa's limit break?
Yeah.
because it's different than everybody else's.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody else, you kind of choose one from a menu, and then you choose the enemy you want to use it on,
just
and it executes it. But Tifa's don't work that way.
Yeah.
Right. So with Tifa, every additional limit break you use, you get to use all of them. You still have to set levels for them. Like when she goes to level 2 and level 3 limit breaks, you still have
Yeah.
to set that. But whatever the farthest one is along that you get, you can use that one and every one previous.
Yeah.
Like all of them. And the way it works is left to right, when you select limit break, you have like slots.
yeah, it's like a slot machine.
Like a slot machine. And if you stop it on hit, it'll hit. You stop it on miss, it'll miss. And if you stop it on it'll do critical damage.
Yeah,
And so you can get all yas and just do all critical damage. And she does all of them. Like every time you do a limit, it gives you a roll for every one of them.
Yeah, when you have it maxed out, you can do the 8 limit breaks in a row.
7.
And, is it 7?
7.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's right.
level
The
4 has
fourth
one.
level only has one.
Yeah.
But the challenge with it is, I think on the first one, it's either just hit and a couple yas.
And that's it. Yeah.
The challenge is that every one that you go adds more misses.
Correct.
But
Right.
there's a strategy where if you hit like square or on the Switch Y while the screen is up, it'll actually freeze the slot. It'll still play the noise. But
What?
Yeah, you didn't know about that?
No.
Yeah, if you do that and you can kind of time it so that way, like if it's on miss and you
What?
see coming up, you can stop it and then hit to make sure like to
Fuck
almost
off.
guarantee that you can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I
know
did
that.
a hit and then I did a to deliver the last thing with
That's
Tifa
awesome.
when Tifa was at 52
That's
HP.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So it was a pretty cool way to end the fight.
So we beat Genova, and there's like a gross like tentacle left over
Yeah.
from it, and also a summon materia
Yep.
sitting there. And I like that Barrett's text, like, because I had Barrett and Yuffie in my party, and Barrett's text is just, "Isn't he that guy?" Like, that Barrett, pay attention. We've been chasing Sephiroth. That's the point. Every time, Barrett's always like if it's not directly Shinra,
Yeah.
Barrett doesn't know what's going on. He's like, "I'm gonna kill Rufus. I'm gonna kill Rufus."
Yeah.
Sephiroth, whatever. I don't care about that. I'm gonna kill Rufus. And so he's like, "Oh, isn't he that guy?" Like, that guy, Barrett. That's the point. That's what we've been doing.
That's the guy.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Did you ever watch Metalocalypse?
I have, but not all the episodes or anything.
There's this one where they accidentally summon like a lake troll that's like destroying all of like whatever like town they're in and stuff.
Yeah.
And when they they go and like they learn how to defeat it and stuff, and then when they go back, they're just standing there and, I think it's like Toki or one of the other guys just goes, "Look, it's that guy," and they just only like it's this giant like mutinous troll that's destroying everything, and they just say they go, "It's that guy!
That's so good.
Look out, it's that guy!"
That's exactly what has happened here. He
Yeah.
just fought this giant, like, fucking abomination.
So good.
And Barrett's just like, "Oh, is that guy?"
Yeah. So
Cloud,
Cloud
I know this guy.
Yeah.
Cloud Cloud sees the tentacle thing moving around. He says, "Genova, the arm of Genova."
Yeah.
And then Tifa was in my party,
Yeah,
and
what-
she said, "Genova, he's been carrying this thing around." And Cloud says, "So it was Sephiroth."
I want to tell you what Yuffie says.
Okay.
Because it's so good. She says, "Gag, I'm sick enough as it is without you having to show me that."
Oh, that's so
so
good.
good.
Yeah.
God, I love Yuffie so much.
Aerith also says, "The time is now." I think that's what oh, that's weird. She says, "I think that was what was said," which is hard to read when you are just reading it verbatim.
Barrett says that in mine. He
Oh.
goes, "The time is now?" Oh, yeah, and then Cloud says, "The time is now." Yuffie asks, "What's the story?" in mine. And Cloud gives you a quick rundown of basically just what happened, I feel like.
Yeah, like Tifa says, I'm getting so confused. Cloud, explain what's happened so far. And you can say, I'll try, or too much trouble.
Right.
So I was expecting like another like just long-winded like
Yeah,
flashback
and
to the
it's-
episode where it was all just a flashback. And
Yeah,
and he
it's really
says
just
it in
a
like
quick...
he says it in like 4 sentences. He says, so instead of saying too much trouble, he says, I'll try, but don't interrupt me while I'm explaining.
Yeah, right.
Sephiroth went off searching for the Promised Land so he could become the ruler of the planet. That was 5 years ago. Then Sephiroth came back and killed President Shinra. And then just now, all of us saw Sephiroth.
I know, which is
He was carrying Jenova with him.
That's such a weak explanation.
And then he says, this much I do know. He told me he wants to go to the Promised Land with his mother, Jenova. I guess that's about it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, that wasn't as bad.
Yeah, it was really...
You could have saved us a whole episode, Cloud.
Yeah. And then we get another announcement over the intercom. Dock workers will be docking in Costa del Sol in 5 minutes. Prepare for docking.
So we are preparing
Seamen,
for
prepare
docking.
for docking.
Yeah, and then Tifa says that they should hide somewhere.
Yeah.
And you can pick up that materia, and it's Ifrit.
Ifrit. Yes.
So another great summon that we'll probably talk about next week.
And as you try to leave the room, Cloud turns around and says, Sephiroth is alive. The Promised Land. Does it really exist? And that's where I cut it.
Yeah.
For today.
Yep.
Yeah. So, super long episode. Alex, I'm so sorry because you got to go edit it.
That's fine.
Nah,
But,
just don't edit it at all.
Yeah. Just leave the whole thing. So next time we'll have GMC Faux Show on our show.
We're real excited.
He's tweeted me twice since.
Really? That's amazing. Wait, hold on. Okay, put us up to date with a show watch.
So I asked, we literally talking about GMB Faux Show. I said, someone stole the last disc out of my dad's Jeep a long ass time ago. It's been a hot minute since I gotten down to it. I was like, what's your mailing address? And he says, hi, you ain't about to send me the last disc of that Black Label FF7 I know. I ain't even got a PS1 anymore.
All right, so we're starting a new Patreon tier. If we hit $1,000, we will send him a PlayStation 1 and the Black Label super rare mistranslation on the back of the disc.
That's so good.
Just the last disc.
That's so good.
And I asked, what about Switch or Steam? It says, I don't need I think I still have FF7 with the Tifa bootlegger. Y'all know I'd be off the deep end with everything I ever mentioned for half a second.
That's what we want.
I know.
Holy shit.
GMC Faux Show, come on our podcast.
Oh my god.
That's our bread and butter. Come on.
I know. All right. We'll get them eventually.
Yeah, dude, we just recorded 2.5 hours about Junon.
Yeah, I know.
And an hour of it is
You're
seamen
talking about off the deep end. Yeah.
We are in the deep end.
We talk about how that dolphin comes up out the water. And Barrett takes off his shirt. About to make him rifles burst.
Fuck yes.
Burst.
Burst.
Swag.
Yeah.
That's what was our theme at MagFest, because we were just like making our wallets burst and getting swag and like burst, swag.
Oh, man.
So yeah, man,
he's got to play. He's got to play MagFest.
oh my God.
We know people. We can get you on.
We can get you on MagFest. We know. Yeah, we know people.
I don't know what the biggest stage he's ever performed on, but MagFest is
Look,
pretty big.
I stage
big.
manage. All right, for the end of the night, it'll be fine.
Can you get that guy who played saxophone during your set to play with him?
Yeah, Steve Boyer. Shout outs to Steve Boyer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so we're Every FNFF. You can find us online at Every FNFF on all of the social medias. everyfnff@gmail.com. Email us. Why aren't you emailing us? Yell at us.
Tell us something.
Tell us something.
Google Murray Bookchin.
Google Murray Bookchin. Hey, shout out to our Instagram follower that appreciated our, in their words, quasi-Marxist lean of the show. Thank you so much. This one's for you.
Shout
This
out to
one's
Colt.
for you. Anything else, guys?
Theme music is a remix by Cutman. Featured music by Nobuo Uematsu. Check the show notes for a link to that stuff. Rate, review, subscribe us on iTunes.
The internet.
On the internet. Give us 5 stars. Tells Aerith to Aerith. Tells you what you think Sephiroth smells like. Also,
Yeah, tell us what you think Sephiroth smells like. No one told us.
also go rate and review GMC Faux Show's album and mention us in the comments.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
At GMC Faux Show, tell them to come on our podcast. What is that move that we talked about last time?
a gentleman's dip, an indie nose bone, and you know I'm gonna have to mention
Not
the
Monsieur
grab.
Bottom Swirl. What's the swamp
Oh,
move?
swamp shoot.
Guys, I have to swamp shoot really
Okay,
bad,
so
so
we
we should
gotta
go
end
ahead and
this.
wrap this up.
All right, I'm about to swamp shit out of here.
Follow us on Twitter to
Let's
find
get
out
the
what we're
swamp
doing
shit
next
out
time.
of here.
What are we doing next time? Or should we just...
Oh yeah. So next time we're gonna do Costa del Sol, up into the end of North Corel.
Disc 3.
Or Corel. Yeah, until Disc 3. We're gonna do up until Corel, or not until Corel. We're gonna go through Corel. So basically, once you get on the trolley or tram or whatever, the lift. Once you get on the lift for the
tram
Golden Swasser, that's where we're ending at.
Cool.
Wait, what? I'll just listen to it later.
Yeah. The Golden Saucer. If you reach the Golden Saucer, you've gone too far.
If
Golden
you
sausage.
tuned out like Alex, just hit that button that brings you back 15 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. All right, I'll see y'all next week.
Golden sausage, got
everyone.
it.
Bye.
My business card says Godcaster. In my brain, I am a God gamer, but in my heart, I am a gamer.
I'm just a fraud
Oh
gamer.
man, I made myself feel bad. I miss Iwata.
Oh.
This one's for you, Iwata. This game that you
This
had
epic, yeah,
almost
this game that
absolutely
did not
nothing.
come out on your platform.
This is
Yeah.
my favorite one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first game of the series that did not come out on your platform.
Yeah, this
Which-
one's for you.
At that point was even. I guess he must have been at Nintendo at that point, because he was working on Earthbound and shit.
Oh, well, in that case, yeah, probably.
Did you hear the story about Earthbound?
Which one? There's a lot.
Let me
That
tell
he,
you a story.
For Earthbound, like Mother 2,
Yeah.
when they were developing it, it was like super behind schedule, and he had just become like an executive at
Yeah.
Nintendo, and he went to check on the status of it, and they were like giving him the report and saying that there was too many bugs and stuff. So he was like, oh, okay, let me see the source code. And they showed him the code, and he looked it over, and then he went to them and he said, if you continue trying to fix this, it's going to be delayed like another year. It's going to take another year to finish this.
Yeah.
If you give it to me, I'll have it out in 6 months. And they were like,
Whoa,
yeah, okay,
wow.
whatever. This fucking like, you know, this salary man, this suit coming
Yeah.
in here and stuff. But they couldn't tell him no, so they gave it to him.
Right.
And then 6 months later, he had fixed everything and put out
Wow.
Earthbound, like from the ground up.
That's wild. Play it.
Iwata is the only God gamer.
Yeah, it's true.